To be getting the share notifications now. We live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Every time I come in the press room, you in the press room. Working on our Stars Hottronic heat press. Using all the vinyl. Making all the picture tees. I like vinyl.
I'm about to just load these boxes up on Nacho.
Man, you gotta be a crazy little brother to get fired on your day off. What you get caught stealing boxes for?
Man, I didn't get caught stealing no boxes. He said he caught me though.
You get our rent paid.
Why don't you go in there and ask the girls real fast to see if they help us pay our rent?
That don't sound like a bad plan at all.
What's up, Pops? What's up, Smokey?
I'm trying to set up a meeting with the girls, man.
Okay.
Y'all wanna help me and Craig pay our rent?
Craig still owe me money from the last time he got it. He gotta learn a lesson. He shouldn't be stealing. Go ask him to tell that girl from last night to give him some money.
What they say? They said it's slow for real.
I'm about to just ask boss when we get our job that night.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
And,
Y'all actually won an award, the Boss Mag 2009 Ohio Hip Hop Award. Y'all won for that media outlet thing.
man, I don't even know. Yeah.
Like y'all won. He didn't even know he won.
What'd you say? Who was it?
You won the Boss Magazine 2009 Ohio Hip Hop Award. Congratulations.
That's legendary. We lit.
Yeah, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Peanut, aka Dash Resource, man. We got a very special interview in here today, but this is very, very urgent. But I want to send us my man Stack and Smith.
Man, what's going on, everybody? Man, welcome to the Legendary People Podcast. Man, like we do all the time, man, we want to invite everybody to go to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, ring the bell notification so you can get alerted every time we drop new videos, man. We done had a lot of legendary guests come on here right from the city. And you can go back and watch everything that we do. We want to acknowledge all of our sponsors to start off every show. Go to Shiekhs for breakfast. They got the best breakfast in the city. Agnes All Natural Grill for lunch. They got the best lunch in the city. If you are ever injured in any type of way, go to the hospital and then call attorney Michael Wright at 937-222-7477. Make the right choice, attorney Michael Wright. And when you want to get lit a little bit, get you some Kiara Wine. You can contact my brother Antoine Cunningham on Facebook for Kiara Wine, and it's also at More for Less. Kiara Wine is how you feeling? Fine out that Kiara Wine. Last but not least, the shoparea.com. We like to call it the baby Amazon. If you're looking for something online, go to the shoparea.com first. When they have it, delivery is always free from the store to your door in 4 business days. The shoparea.com. We broadcasting live from my store, which is T-Shirt Kings, Gold for Your Mouth and Camera King Studio. And my brother has a show called Sell Stocks Not Dope every Sunday on Dash Resource Channel on YouTube. Yes. And without further ado, my brother from another mother, Peanut Johnson, over to you, King.
Thanks, man, bro.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate that, man. Last night, bro, we had an amazing time at the event yesterday, man. So
Did
shout
do
out
that.
to Kiara Wine and Third Perk. But this right here is a very, very pressing matter. I take this very serious because I had a child come up missing before. And I just remember my child was only missing for hours. And I just remember being so pain-stricken by just that. Thank God he was all good. Everything's all right. A lot of things changed after that, but we have to get to this story, man. So without further ado, we have Monique Davis Dawson. Hello.
Hey, it's Monique.
Oh, sorry. Oh, my bad.
Take a point from me.
Yeah, you can take a point. Take a point from me.
You know?
How are you?
I'm weary. I'm very weary. I'm confused on what has happened, how this happened. I've already felt empty for the past 8 years, trying to figure out a way or a loophole or a way to catch these people up to get my kids back, and then to find out everything that has transpired in the past 10, 11 days. I really can't say all the way how I feel.
So let's start with the most pressing matter. Your son is missing. What is his name?
His name is Antonio Kenyon Titus Dawson.
Right, because they changed his name. What's the situation with that?
With changing his name?
Yes.
Honestly, I was unaware until 2 days ago that his name was changed. So I never knew there was a situation to begin with, you know, because if I could have contested to that, it would have been just that.
Right.
I don't know if he felt comfortable or forced, or if that was just something that they require for you to do.
Well, let's go back. Hold on for a second. Who is how did you find out that your son was missing?
It was an awkward, you know, call. I don't speak to my ex-husband often, you know, I don't have any bad blood with him. But I don't speak to him often. So to receive a call from him, I immediately answered like, hey, you know, what's up? He's like, I wanted to let you know that Children's Services just called me and said Titus is missing. And I'm like, so what's he missing? You know, I didn't know he was meaning missing, you know. So I'm like, so what's he missing? You know, he's like, no, he's gone. And they're trying to say that they think he escaped with you on some vigilante type situation. And I'm like, you know, wait a minute. I don't even know he was gone until you just told me. Now all of a sudden he's with me, you know, like I'm going to call these people. I immediately called them. The lady told me she did not know what was going on. She did not have any information for me, but
Who is the lady?
Her name was Tina Green.
So your son doesn't live with you?
No.
Okay. So your son lives with who?
I've never met these people. I've had conversations with the mother of the house there. Her name is Randy Foley. And she would want me to talk to her, but not talk to my son. I haven't heard my son's voice since he was 6. So
How did it come to be that your son doesn't live with you?
I was in a very, very heart-wrenching, hurtful, the worst situation a mother could ever want to go through.
Well, let's talk about it. What happened?
Okay. In 2013, January 12th, 2013, I went to go grocery shopping. I had just moved into this home on Manhattan in 5 Oaks.
Yeah.
And it was like a little half a double. It was a starting over for me because I had went through a depression after my mom's twin sister had passed away. My Aunt Kay had passed away. And I was just like, you know, I want to start over. I have a lot of memories here with my family. You know, I'm just going to start over. With that starting over, my relationship was coming to an end. And we were getting closer and closer to our wedding, but our relationship was failing.
And this is your son's father?
He was the only father that my son knew. My ex-husband, I was, you know, in my religion, my family's religion, because I'm not religious. You know, I follow God. I don't follow religion. I follow the laws of attraction, not the laws of the land, because they abide universally.
Right.
Because the laws of the land are completely made from pedophiles, murderers, you know, unjust people. So I don't find all of them to be just. So my family, they wanted me to be married to him, not knowing that he was a homosexual.
Whoa.
As soon as I found out he was a homosexual, I distanced myself because I'm not going to put myself, my kids, or, you know, nobody at risk for health issues. I'm not dealing with that drama.
How did you find out, if you mind me asking?
I had found out. I got a phone call after, because when I got married, my first marriage was so invalid. You know what I mean? I carried the Dawson name because of my children. That's the only reason, because of my children. We already had a daughter together, and my neighbor, we would be cool. We'll play cards and stuff like that. He had a woman, you know, they had kids. Little did I know my neighbor and my husband were sleeping together.
So is your husband your son's father?
My husband is my son's father.
Your husband is your son's father. Y'all broke up because he was gay. Then you moved in and you got into a new relationship. And this is when you moved in to the house on Manhattan.
Yes.
Within this new relationship.
Yes.
So
we had been together for about 6 years at the time already when we moved on Manhattan.
Right. But at this point when you guys was moving into Manhattan, this isn't your son's father. This is the new relationship that you've been into. This man is like the father of your son.
It's like the father of my son.
But this
children with them.
But,
Yes.
but this relationship is coming to an end when you move on to Manhattan
Yes.
in 2013.
Yes.
So that's where we're at right now. So we trying to figure out how your son, how you guys split apart. So now we here.
We split apart because of my 11-year-old's father sexually abusing my daughter. I have an 11-year-old who has a different father. He sexually abused my daughter in front of our daughter. She was 2. My oldest daughter was 7. And they were both in the room. I went
The 2-year-old,
grocery
and how old was your daughter that got
7.
abused?
So I go grocery shopping, and it was one of those late night grocery shops, you know. I'm going to go after I get the kids settled. We're still moving in, been unpacking all day. And it was just one of those moments where I'm like, okay, we need to wake up to make sure we have breakfast foods and fruits and bread and lunch meat for, you know, the day, just in case I sleep in.
Just being motherly.
Anything. Yeah, you know,
Motherly.
just making sure when I wake up, everything is okay.
Absolutely.
I get back to the house. I'm locked out of my house with all of these groceries. At the time, I'm only 24, 25 years old. I didn't have a car at the time because he had previously ran my truck into a building drinking and driving. So my vehicle had been, you know, taken into, into police custody,
Impounded,
investigation, and all of that stuff.
So you got there through someone driving you there, or you rode the bus, or like what type of transportation did you take to go to the store?
I had a friend take me.
Okay.
My best friend took me to the grocery store.
So when your friend brings you back and drops you off, you can't get inside the
I
house.
can't get inside, and now she done pulled off. So I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm looking at the situation like I'm ready to bust my own windows out, and I'm banging with force on these doors. And
so
nobody's
he's
coming to
in.
this
I mean,
door.
is he inside molesting the daughter while you are banging on the door? Is that what we talking about?
I am not for sure what was taking place when, because I was outside of that door.
Right.
Because if I would have been inside of that door and I would have heard a yell, a moan, or scream, a rock, or anything, that nigga would be dead.
Right.
And that's just that. And I proudly would have showed my daughter, your daddy just was killed.
Yeah.
So when I got in the house, he had looked like he had got out the shower. As a mother, I'm going to always check on my kids.
Absolutely.
You know, so I run upstairs. I hear my son snoring, and, you know, he snored at the time and sucking his thumb. So I knew he was okay. I pop in my daughter's room. She jumps up so fast, you know, but I didn't think anything of it because she's my oldest, and I let her stay up a little later. And when she knows mommy's gone, sometimes she'll stay up and wait for mommy to get home to have her peace, you know, stuff like that. Because most of the time I would have to go to the grocery store at night because I'm being mommy in the day.
Right.
He would be out running around, running the streets all day, you know, drinking and stuff.
And you have to be dependent on someone who could give you a ride to the
Exactly.
store. I understand. So go ahead.
Exactly. And being on the bus with 3 kids and a little baby at that, it was not doable. It was not doable. So that ride was available at that time, and that's when Walmart was actually 24 hours. So
Yes.
I'm like, we're going to go on a midnight run. We know the kids is in bed. That's like a mother's freedom time, riding through Walmart.
So, but you get in the house, you check on the kids, and then what?
I didn't think that my daughter was sexually assaulted.
Right.
And I had told him, because our relationship was failing, we wasn't having sex. And I told him, I said, when I get back, you know, we gonna have some time, some adult time for us. Well, when I get back, I'll get all pretty and stuff. And I'm talking about bad.
Yeah.
Heels, diamonds on the, you know what I'm saying? Everything. We go to have sex, and his dick isn't working. And I'm like, well, what the hell, you know? This ain't never happened before, you know? But all right, I'm about to go to sleep. I done just went grocery shopping and everything else. It didn't dawn on me he just had sex. I'm thinking, you know, his little dick ain't working. It is what it is. You know?
This is a horrible thing to be discussing, man. Like this shit
It needs
is
to be.
fucking.
It needs to be told because.
Nah, it
this
does
is my
need to
moment
be
of
told,
truth.
but man, this shit is like terrible, man. It's unbelievable.
I literally put
Inconceivable.
diamonds on my every private area that I had, and it was just that. You know, I know there was no way, there's no man that would have seen me at that moment and not have had an erection. To not perform and make love to the, you know, the woman that is supposed to be your wife 6 months from now. A couple of days later, he got him a bottle and he started, you know, acting crazy and stuff. And I don't deal with crazy folks. I will let you go. You about to get out of my face, you know. And I told him, you need to leave. I didn't have to raise my voice this time. I didn't have to argue. It was
he left like on
he
cue.
left like, all right. Well, amen.
Right.
Well, good job. You know, I didn't think nothing of it because I was tired. You know what I'm saying? I was getting over a depression. It was so much that I was doing.
So, like, when did you get the
myself.
inclination that something was wrong with your daughter?
My daughter, what it was he had been gone for almost a week. And I had let my daughter stay up a little later. I had my son and Melody go to bed. I let her stay up a little later. This is when Ocean Shore used to come on MTV with Snooki and all of them. So Ocean Shore comes on, and this is
Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore, yes.
I got you.
So Jersey Shore comes on, and Snooki was in labor with her baby, with Jay Styles. And my daughter was like, Mommy, it looks like it really hurts to have a baby. And I was like, it does. But she was getting older, and I had already had that talk with her. And I was, you know, she had seen my pregnancy with Melody. So I felt comfortable with having age-appropriate talks about having babies. She knew.
At what age was she when you said, when
I had that talk with, well, she was 7.
Okay, so.
But I had the talk with her earlier when she was probably 6. You know what I'm saying? Just because, you know, I had a baby, which was her sister.
Right.
So, you know, their kids are going to ask questions, and I just gave them the
inquisitive.
appropriate, you know, especially when she's like, well, how did the baby get in there?
Right.
You know, so, you know, appropriately, she knew what was inappropriate touch, what was inappropriate contact, private areas not to be touched. So
Yes.
she, you know, when she seen that, I think it triggered her to tell me, like, Mom, I just thought you should know that my dad stuck his private area in my butt, and it hurt so bad, Mom. And he said it was coming, and I said, what's coming? And he said, Daddy's eggs. And he put them on my chest. I was on my computer like this, and I looking back, but I didn't want to completely stare in her face because I knew she was going to see anger. And I didn't want her to think it was towards her. So after she tells me, I turn around, I'm like this. I don't even know what I'm typing. So what I want you to do, I want you to go put on your snowsuit, your clothes, your socks, your shoes, get your sisters and your sister and your brother up, tell them to do the same thing, get your gloves, get your hat, because it was freezing outside. We're about to go to the hospital. I call my mom. She's like furious. Lynn, you need to call the police. Yes. I already called the police. I wish I didn't call the police. I wish I would have just reeled him on back in and took his life and disposed of the body. And I'm very well capable of doing that. And I would have been fine with that and moved on with my life with no fingerprints, because there was no justice coming, you know, for my family, you know, being separated to the point of now my son is missing. You know, they took my kids unlawfully. They, you know, first of all, when my son was 2-3 years old, I already had him handling a basketball. So,
but before we get there, how did they end up taking your kids based off of someone else's action?
Right.
They took them because at the time I still had an open case from him running my truck through a building, and my kids was with him when he did it.
Oh, so it was what? Like
but I wasn't there for that.
What's it called, like reckless endangerment and stuff like that?
Yes.
Or delinquency of a minor?
And we were getting ready to close that case that same month. So he does that. So boom, we make it past the situation. Well, he was gone, so he was missing. He was on the run.
So walk me through when the police got there. The police came, and what? I mean, did your daughter explain to the police what happened?
She did. She explained exactly what I said. And after she explained the situation, they said, they talked to my son, and Melody was so young she couldn't even talk.
Right.
Only thing, after the fact,
she was
her
2.
actions were displaying she was doing inappropriate things that you would be like a
She saw
2-year-old.
something.
She saw something. So I'm like, I really need to focus on my kids. I really need to heal my kids, because Lord knows I didn't know if this was the first time he did this to her. I didn't know. It was just a lot. It was so many thoughts.
So let me recap for the people who are just joining the live right now, because we got a few more guests than when you actually explain what was happening. You said that you went shopping one night, right?
Yes.
You come back home, you can't get in. You and your boyfriend had talked about y'all wanted to kind of have a nice romantic night. He can't have sex that night because he wouldn't get hard. A couple of days later, you guys get into an argument. He leaves out the house. He's left for a week. After the week goes by, you spending some time with your daughter, and I'm going to put the camera right on you. I want you to say exactly what you said your daughter told you once more.
I mean, it was terrible, but I know that she was telling me because she could trust me. Mm-hmm. I know my daughter was telling me because she knew he wasn't going to come back there. First off, because the night before he had tried to come back, and me and my daughter were also having that bonding time, letting her stay up a little later and watch TV with me. So her seeing him come and me telling him, you have to leave, you can't be here, and him leaving with no argument, no nothing. That next night when we're watching TV again and Snooki is now in labor, she felt that comfortable, like this is the moment to tell my mommy.
Right.
She told me, Mom, it's been so long since I've had this conversation with anybody, because it's hard to discuss, it's hard to say, it's hard to even want to relive and know you have to look your daughter in her eye and be brave and fight for her, because your life is about to change forever, and your child's life is about to change forever. Yes. When your child comes to you to say, Mom, I just thought you should know that my dad stuck his private area in my butt and it hurt so bad, Mom. It hurt bad. And then he said it was coming, and I said, what's coming, Mom? And he said, Daddy's eggs, and he put them on my chest and they were white. For her to identify something like that, I could not look my daughter in her eye, not because of shame, but because there was nothing positive in my facial expression, and I didn't want her to think it was towards her. Right. So I told her, I turned my back like I was looking at the laptop, and I literally asked my daughter to go upstairs, get your snowsuit on, because it was getting ready to storm, which was another reason why I had went grocery shopping. So it caught me off guard. But I thought I knew what to do, which was call the police. Considering he wasn't there, he couldn't go to jail at that moment. They had to find him. When I went to call my mom back after the police had picked us up and was doing everything, when I was calling in, I had a little flip phone. And when I was calling in or calling out, he was calling in. So when I go to press the little green button on the flip phone, it was just like one of those little, not even an Obama phone, but one of those little emergency phones. This is when I was on welfare, getting food stamps. Yeah, this is when shit was slow. Right. So, I'm like, let me press this button and call my mom back because I know she's worried. I hear him, Mama, didn't Antonia said this, and this, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Bitch, I'ma kill you. And your motherfucking kids. You talking to the wrong one, buddy. And it was a war from there. I told the police.
So wait, I have a question. So the last time you saw him prior to that exchange, everything was, he tried to come in, no argument happened.
When he knew that I knew, he tried to play it off.
How did he know that you knew?
Because when I went to call my mom back, he was calling my flip phone. So before I could even press send to send the call, I pressed the green button to receive the call. Right. It was like a call coming in before the call.
But who told him that your daughter made the allegations?
I told him because I thought I was talking to my mom.
Okay.
So I was like running it down. Mom, Antonia said this, and this, and the closest
okay.
here. Da, 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 da. So I'm running it down to him. Bitch, I'm gonna kill you. Da, 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 da. I told the police what had happened. So they took my kids into a protective custody. And then from there, it was like my life was changed forever.
But with him not living there, you living separate, you have your own place. I don't see how they could fault you if you're the one who called the police.
I don't see how they could fault me either. I don't see how they could fault me. After the fact, they were like,
allegations or anything of that nature that they tried
there was
to
no
paint you?
allegations towards me. When we went to trial, there was all types of allegations towards me that I never even knew until that moment.
Because one of the caseworkers quit based off of what they were trying to allege that you did. But what was it that they alleged that you did?
They were saying that I held my daughter down. I was also like, as soon as my Aunt Kay passed, my mom's health went down. You know what I mean? I was like watching my mom's health.
Where did they get that
just
information from? Like, what made them say that you held your daughter down?
I mean, just like a prosecution, they're gonna say anything to prosecute you. That's law. I mean, that's just what they do.
Did your boyfriend tell them?
Oh, I don't
in
know.
order to try to get
know.
some of his time cut?
I don't know.
That you held.
I don't know. I never
I'm saying
heard
you
that,
called
though.
the police.
I
You
never
made
heard
the
that, but
report.
I only heard the white folks say that. I never heard, and
Did the prosecutors ever say that?
the prosecutors and them were all told, like they said it. Well, it wasn't the prosecutors. The workers were telling the prosecutors when the prosecutors were examining them and interviewing them on the stand.
Did you get prosecuted over
No,
this?
never.
You never got any type of charges
No.
levied against you?
No.
But so when did the prosecutor say that you held her down? Like, in what setting did this happen?
The prosecutor didn't say it. We're talking about juvenile court. There was no prosecution for Monique. Monique was never prosecuted or ever even faced the charge for any type of sexual allegations.
There we go.
Period.
Right. Okay.
These were just rumors and lies that was put on my name to take my kids.
Okay.
Right, okay.
All right. There we go.
Thank you.
Right. So the Child Protective Services, you say, look, my daughter has been molested. And what is the first thing they do in order to try to take your kids away? What's the process in taking your kids away?
They literally told me, they said, we will be in court tomorrow to take your kids. And that's what they said. And from there, I had a friend. This is the messy part. This is the lack of support. And this is the part that it's sad that people in our community would sit there and see somebody else suffering and struggling and fighting and proving and doing everything by right by God and do foolish ass shit like this. Before they apprehended him, he was still being looked for. They said, because he is threatening to kill you, you cannot be by yourself with your kids. You cannot be by yourself. So I say, I can have my friend come and stay with me. And she brought her kids over to stay with me. This is when the chat line was popping. I've never been on the chat line, tried to do none of that stuff ever, but she would be on the chat line. She leaves.
What's the chat line?
I got a friend that's been on the chat line.
What is it?
Well, it was like social media, but it was a phone. It was like literally you will call this number. It will be a chat line where you'll be like, hey, what's your name and location? You be like, hey, my name is da.
Yeah.
And then
okay.
if you like somebody's voice and you have a conversation, it got like a dating.
Yeah,
it's
but
like
you
a
can
dating
meet up.
thing. Yeah.
Her thing was meeting up with these
Chocolate
men, and she would literally sleep with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She left at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And when she left, she took her kids, and here come the police knocking on my door to take me to this interview at the McDonald house over there. And they seen I was by myself with my kids. And they was like, this is a safety situation, and you're not supposed to be by yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
she left you and your kids alone after you promised them that you would have somebody there with you at all times.
Exactly.
But
to go meet with somebody, and then the next day they said, we're taking your kids and we're gonna file for custody. The next day she was like, I'm gonna pick you up and take you to court.
Had they found the dude at this time?
No.
So he was still a fugitive.
Yes. Because I had kept on pushing him out the door like, you can't come in here. You know what I'm saying? You need to leave. You can't come back here.
Well, shit, of course he can't come back there if he's molested the
but
daughter.
even
But I'm
before-
saying, has he been reaching out to you after this situation?
Yes, he had
Saying
reached out.
what?
He'll be like, "Why is your bed?" He would call and be like, "Why is your bedroom light on?" So I knew he was on my street one day, and this is like during the time when they'll be like, before they even was like, you don't need to be by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've always dealt with every situation by myself.
Right.
For just stupid stuff.
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna go kick it with somebody on the chat line and fuck what your situation is. Like that was trash.
So how much time?
I wish he would have picked a better friend.
Oh yeah.
Cause she just fucking
I have a
didn't
question.
give a fuck. Like,
She didn't
man,
give a fuck at all.
She didn't
She got
understand
pregnant by the guy from the chat line.
She didn't understand the gravity of the situation of you having to be by yourself. I mean, this is like
she did because the detectives told her.
Yeah,
She
but
she knew.
but to know and to understand is two different things, man.
Right.
And that's why it says get understanding. But this is like, seeing the unfolding of what happened. At the right moment, as soon as she left, the police come, pull up.
Well, we didn't know she was gone I didn't know she was gone until the next day. I had a big
but
old
how
house.
the
Her and her
fuck can the
family was
police-
downstairs.
Like, to me, it's kind of like, now, she's not a prisoner in my house, okay?
Right.
We got an agreement that she's going to be here, but if she do got to go and bust a move, that's all understandable. You can't have somebody with you 24/7 like this
Right.
is some type of what's it called when you got a police just sitting outside your house like you in protective
like
custody.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying like when the police like
I understand what you
yeah,
mean.
where the police is just outside your house to make sure don't nobody come in there and fuck with you. So that's what you should have had. Something like that, because what's she gonna do?
Right. Ain't strapped. Ain't
Who the
smart.
fuck is she to just stop this assailant from coming in there
I
and
think they
doing
just
whatever
needed
he's
her as a
threatening to do?
witness, so she could be that other witness to what was going on.
I mean, shit,
So-
somebody will kill everybody in the fucking house
Right.
if
And
they
there's still no
motivate it.
witnesses.
So
Right.
so like, how much time lapsed from
Right.
the rape allegation? I mean, well, he gonna get charged for it eventually. How much time lapsed between that and him being apprehended?
Probably
Great question.
like another week.
Okay.
Maybe not even a week.
So
It was some time because I had been making posts. If you see this person, call the police. He's running. He's done this to my daughter.
Absolutely.
And I had just got on Facebook. And I want to say a year, maybe 2 years before that. So I was learning about my post, and I really didn't have a lot of followers. But that post and that story, when I told him what he did to my daughter and what my daughter said then, it let people know. But nobody turned him in. He was right over his family house the whole time, and I told him that. I said, I know where he is. So if y'all don't have him by the end of the Sabbath, he'll be dead on Sunday. There ain't no rising up on Sunday. Period.
So-
because they didn't find him, and I told them the exact address where he was, and they was just letting shit slide. So when I told them I'll handle it myself, that's when they went ahead and bopped down on him. But I had told him he normally goes to the plasma center over there off of Riverside on Saturdays to draw blood. He wouldn't work. He wouldn't do anything. Only thing he would do at the time was draw his blood and sell plasma a couple of times out of the week.
Man, this
And I was literally working, had my own house. He done messed up my truck.
and then I think we gonna move a little bit more towards Young King that's missing, but I do got a question.
Okay.
Like, when you tell the police the situation, okay, we hear somebody say, "We gonna take your kids tomorrow," right? Did they take your kids that next day, or did they take your kids when they came to do the interview at the Ronald McDonald House when
They
they
took
found
my
out your
kids.
friends wasn't there?
They took my kids the day of the Ronald McDonald House
Right.
because I was calling my friend. Hey, they said I can't be by myself. I need you to come back over. I could not get anybody to be with me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and at the time, I only had my daughter at the Ronald McDonald House. My friend Vonnie had my other kids over her house, my son and Melody over her house, because they said that they didn't need to be involved. Everything was okay with them. Even
Right.
though they checked their private areas and they checked my son's private area. I mean, they
Yeah.
did everything to make sure nothing else had happened. They said nothing had happened. they took my daughter from the McDonald house, and then they escorted me to my friend's house, who was trying to protect my kids from this happening, because they did not want me to be by myself, and he had not been apprehended.
Shout out
So
to the
y'all
legendary
giving me-
comment section. They said, never trust a nigga who sell blood.
Period.
Real shit. Like, and this definitely not no diss for you, because you was young and you mature and you learn as you go. But for whoever is out there that's listening to this situation, man, be careful who you deal with, man. You know, there are signs around that somebody just ain't fucking right, man.
And
That go for anybody. If you dealing with a nigga or a woman who is only goddamn it motivation and goal is to sell some blood, to do as little as possible, and they letting you work and do all the fucking heavy lifting, get the fuck away from them, man. Because the next shit will happen something like this.
Yes.
You know, the person ain't right, man, and we have to be careful of the company that we keep, because this fucked up situation has now unfolded to something even worse, a bigger catastrophe. Man. This shit like ridiculous.
Report on the worst butterfly effect in the history of us doing this show is what we're about to get into next. So, but I want to get back to the caseworker. So, how much time lapsed between you speaking with a caseworker and the actual assault happening?
It happened at the Marlin. It probably like a day or two, because they still had to set everything up. Like I said, they let me go home, but then the threats started, and then why is your lights on? And at that time, I had told them that when he said, why is your lights on? I had turned all the lights off in my house, and I had hid my kids in the closet. So I turned on the porch lights, and I opened up the front door and the back door. So it was silent. So I'm going to hear the footsteps and everything. I had a feeling he was going to come through the back door. So I'm standing behind the back door. He comes to the back door. I can't, I'm on camera and stuff. He comes to the back door, and he looks through like, he knew not to come through that door. He didn't know where I was. He couldn't see where I was coming from. As long as I knew I got him in that kitchen, and he can't make it to that closet door just in case my baby start crying. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to kill this man in my house here today. He would not come through that door. So me telling them that, because I called the police while I was hiding my kids and waiting for them to get here, while he was doing that, he still got away. So on foot. I don't know if he if he was driving somebody else's car, or I don't know if he was on foot the whole way, but at that time he was on foot.
Do you think his intentions was to kill you or to scare you?
I don't know, but I know what my intentions was as soon as he said that to me.
So they arrested him? Did he end up going to jail?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's in prison now?
No, he's out living his best life with the same family members, same church members. My pastor went down to the church. Was going down to the prison, to the jail down here to see him, because I had him going to my church with me, with Bishop Calloway. And my pastor was going down there to see him. Well, the pastor tells my neighbor who was watching my kids one day, well, if I was you, I wouldn't have any kids. I wouldn't have those kids around you, because you don't know what they might say about you. Like my kids was lying. And little did I know that pastor was gay. I said, my God, I honestly do not like anything about dating. I would not be here if it was not for my kids. Period. When I moved here, when I was a kid, when I used to come here, my family used to come here for music. My family used to come here and do revivals and shows and plays, and our family rocked out. Even to this day, my family will always be known in Dayton, Ohio for music.
Right. But I want to get back kind of to where we are in the story timeline, because I'm still trying to establish the reason why they would say that you were a part of it. Because if it took
I would never know.
Oh, wait, just give me a second. So if they took a couple of days in order for them to like check for him, and then before they took your kids after the like the threats, he was apprehended 10 days later. So how long did it take after them taking your kids to them finalizing their because at first it's like emergency custody, and then it turns into full time.
Right.
How much time lapsed between them taking them initially from the Ronald McDonald house to them taking them fully?
it was all in the same. That was just their intent. It was all in the same.
It seems that they took the kids at first to just protect them because there was an assailant out that was threatening their lives.
Services came and said they were.
But then after they apprehended him, the threat had been taken away, so they should have gave him back to you at that point.
Yes.
But what was their reasoning for not returning your children after they had locked them up?
I never understood it. They said they wanted to wait until my court hearing was finalized to close my case. Mm-hmm. And my case was supposed to be closed in May.
Mm-hmm. This is the case about him running into the building with the kids?
No, the case for my daughter's rape.
Right, okay.
Right, but you never had charges pressed against you for that. So what's the case?
I still had a children's services case, so I had to do different things they asked me to do, like parenting classes.
38 classes?
But no, it ended up being 38 classes over those years, but I only had like a few things that they wanted me to do at the time. Then it turned into some more things, and then it turned into some more things, and then it turns into, like a
receipt blowing down the street, kind of. I'll keep getting up there close to it and keep blowing. I can't get close to it.
And then next thing you know, my insurance lapses because I don't got my kids. So now my insurance can't pay for these services that is covered through CareSource or Medicaid. Does that make sense? So now I'm having to straggle along, and I'm not from here, trying to figure out resources to finish these classes. And I still found those classes while traveling back and forth to Columbus, Ohio, to be with my mama who was on her deathbed.
Wow. So they made that a point of contention as well. So like they had said that you were lying about your parents being ill.
They said my mama wasn't even my mama.
Where were these talks happening? Was this happening in open court? Was it chatter?
This is just stuff they would just be saying to me, and then go and just, just like if I be like, oh yeah, I'm about to buy me the newest, whatever the newest car is. No, you're not. Like, I'm not believing in you that you're not capable of buying the newest car. You know what I'm saying? Or like, you're not believing in me to buy this new ass car that I'm telling you I'm going to buy.
So are these conversations that you're having with caseworkers, or is this something that's happening at court?
This is stuff that was just, I could be, you know what I'm saying? You guys are putting me through all of this. My mom is sick. You were putting my kids on medication. That's not even your real mom. Just lying on my mom, saying my mom neglected me. Then next thing you know, I'll be like, my mom is dying, and my mom.
But I'm asking I'm asking for a reason. At where were they having these conversations at?
Oh, I don't know. These were conspiracies that they're conspiring. I was by myself.
No, I know. So I'm saying, where were you when you heard these? Were you in court? Were these in back offices? Was this at your home? Was it?
This was to my face.
From who said it? The prosecutors?
It would be like just a caseworker that's coming out to do a random visit. Okay. Or if I'm doing a visit at Children's Services, and they coming in there to disrupt the visitations and stuff like that. They will come in there and disrupt the visitations. I'm like, I'm going through so much, and y'all doing this, and this, and y'all know y'all wrong. I'm not happy. I was not happy. I wasn't backing down either. Like, y'all, this is fucked up.
Right.
Like, everything they was doing was fucked up. They was never there to help.
Okay.
They were never trying to help.
Mm-hmm.
They were, after he got apprehended, Children's Services put it all on me. They put it all on me. And I did what they told me to do as far as prosecuting him. I mean, I was going to do that anyways, but they was like, you know how they be like, you got to go to this, all your court hearings, you got to do this, and this. Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff.
What was that process like for you?
Hey, before you answer that, you guys, I want to remind everybody to go to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, ring the bell notification so you can get alerted every time. Get the likes up on YouTube for us, man. The Legendary People Podcast on YouTube. We come with thunder like this all the time. Interesting interviews. Giving a shout out to our sponsors, Shiekhs. They got the best breakfast in the city. Agnes All Natural Grill got the best lunch in the city. If you ever injured, call attorney Michael Wright, 937-222-7477. Kiara Wine when you want to get lit. In the shoparea.com. We broadcasting live from T-Shirt Kings. T-ShirtKings247.com. Gold for your mouth and Camera King Studios. Every Sunday, Sell Stocks Not Dope. My brother Dash Resources breaks it all down and teach you how to get a big old bag. Peanut, over to you. Let's finish with the question. What we got?
So what is so I think we kind of got to the point of where we were speaking of, you going back and forth with the caseworkers and you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. How does this transition next?
it transitioned to be, it went from lack of consideration for my family to being taunted. Like, it didn't matter if the NAACP was in the room. They'd be like, you have to leave. It didn't matter if my children's grandparents are in the room. You have to leave. Every week, you have to leave. And then as soon as they leave, here they come. Oh, we're going to take your kids. We're going to cancel this visit this week. Oh yeah, and we upped your son's medication this week. Next thing you know, my son's walking through the door, walking into a door. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, why do you even have him on medicine? Right. It would be situations like that. And I'm sitting here backed into a wall by myself, friend completely out of sight. You know what I'm saying? And it was a nightmare. It just became a nightmare to where they say, well, Monique, I'm still accomplishing everything. I'm still knocking them down, getting every dart put in my back, every sword, every bullet, taking everything. Like, I don't care. I'm going to make it to this finish line, and it's just going to be what it is. I don't care what I have to go through.
Right.
Insurance lapsing and everything. And they say, well, you only have one more piece left for your case, and then we'll give you your kids back. Okay, we need you to do family therapy. I get to doing family therapy. The family therapist advocated that she wanted me to get my kids back. She would come to the visit once a week for family therapy. During that once a week time, she would see them come in there taunting me. She would see how my kids would come in there messed up on that medication. She would see how Nugget was coming in there unclothed, like no socks on, and here it is, February and March, no hat on, a dress too small, and Nugget was a 10-pound baby, so she got little baby jelly rolls everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of situations, I'm going to say something about my kids.
Absolutely.
And they didn't want me to say anything at all. So I'm and every time I'm the bad guy.
Right.
I'm the bad guy. So they filed a motion again. We want to stop visitations for her to see her kids. This was 2015. We want to stop visitation rights for her to see her kids because she's a disruption to the visitation. And they told me they were going to do it. They knew they were going to do it before they disrupted this visitation with my baby being sick, unclothed, and everything. So me, my ex-husband's mom, and the worker who was also there. No, not Alicia Green. Alicia Green wasn't here yet.
Okay.
She was just hearing at the time. Alicia Green was hearing all this bad stuff about me because it was a war. I gave them what they was looking for. I paid attorney. I had paid attorney David Stinson. I was not playing with them. I was coming up with resources like a rabbit out of the hat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was making it happen for my kids. So then,
let me do something too. Hey, you guys, everybody that's watching the show, this is her son. It's Antonio.
Yes.
Antonio is on the screen. If anybody has seen Antonio, is this a recent picture? How recent is this one?
I don't even know.
No. He's a little older than that. I sent the picture to the.
So, but he looks the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
How tall is he?
6'4".
6'4", you guys. How old is he?
14.
6'4", 14. His name is Antonio. If anybody has seen Antonio, Moniqua is tagged in this post. Make sure that you contact her to let her know that she's saying privately, but she wants to know that her son is okay, you guys. So please, and we're going to put up a more recent picture. Peanut is sending it to me. Resend it to me, bro. And then I'll put it in the chat.
People in the comment section want to know, go back to the part, how did he get missing?
Yeah.
And why was the...
We haven't even talked about that.
Yeah. We right now
they're steady asking about the boy in the comment section.
Yeah, that because you guys... Everybody,
lead up to that.
Everybody that's watching, you guys, we definitely gonna get to that meat and potatoes. But right now, what we're doing is just a little bit of a backstory because we was like, he got taken. He didn't get taken from her. He didn't leave her house. He's not missing from her house. So right now, what we're doing is we're telling you how he got to where he was when he was actually taken. Right? Right? Okay, you guys. So we get into that right now. So just stay with us, man. We ain't gonna keep y'all all night, but it is important to her to clear her name. So we ain't just thinking she just this terrible person whose child got taken. She's explaining why her child got taken. And then if you guys don't believe it, man, let us know in the comment section what don't sound right to you, and then we'll ask her all of these questions. I've been trying my best to kind of like, ask her questions that, and we got to call her right here, Peanut, you want to handle it now, or you want to?
I want to wait until we get to the rest of the story.
Whoever this is that's calling, just give us a few minutes and we're going to tell you guys when to actually call in, and then we'll answer some calls, or you can always comment below. Comment on YouTube, man, like, subscribe, ring the bell notification. Make sure you go to our YouTube page and like the Legendary People podcast. This is Antonio. This is her son. This is what he looks like. If anybody has seen Antonio, please call the show or comment, you guys, and then we gonna make sure that we find this young king, man. Absolutely. All right, Dashes, go ahead.
So yeah, we're gonna push it past the point of where you know what I'm saying, like you actually fought to get your kids back, and then you had one lady help you named Alicia Green who helped you actually get Nugget back. So how did they justify letting you get one child and the other ones have to wait till they're 18?
At that moment that we were just at, when my baby Nugget came inappropriately, my son at the same time was drugged up. He could not consciously. So me expressing to them all of this, I wasn't raising my voice. I wasn't being disrespectful. They had already filed a motion because we were in the trial state,
right? And
it was we were on their ass. Right. It was not pretty. Their documentation couldn't trump. Even if I had bad representation, the proof is in the pudding. Okay. It's in I got a whole 2-3 year paper trail that y'all can't deny. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So they just started scheming inside of Children's Services. So they go and file this motion to stop visitations with the kids. Boom. At that point, the trial was probably, I think we had to be back in trial a week later, but this was a motion that was something we're going to have to go back to court for the next day. Right. So we go down there the next day, and what was her name? The lady for the family visitation, she was there that day. My kid's grandmother was there that day. So they were able to testify like Monique wasn't disrespectful, Monique wasn't loud. They came in there and completely terminated the visitation, and the baby was completely undressed. My daughter didn't have a blanket on, a hat on, nose running, coughing. She was super hungry. It was just a lot, you know what I mean?
And as a mother, it infuriated you to the point where you responded, which what to me is a motherly instinct. Yes. Why you got my child out here looking like this?
Yes.
Isn't that, yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So boom, the judge denied the order. So the same day the judge denied the order, they filed another order, and the judge told them, we need to let you have her make up that visit for her kids. Okay. So now the judge says, all these visits with these interruptions, I want them to be made up. Okay. So, and just so they could privately do what they did to our family and our visitations on these Fridays. Normally we would be having it just on Wednesday. Now it's Wednesday and Friday because I'm getting my justice. They tell the lady for the family visitation, for the family therapy, that the therapist, they tell her, you're no longer allowed back on our property. They tell my children's grandmother, you're no longer allowed at the visits at all, not even for birthdays or anything.
What was their justification for that?
There was no justification. We could call my ex-husband's mom right now and pray that she answers.
Okay. What do you do after that happens?
They filed another motion.
No. What do you do after they tell you you can't come down here, you can't see
No, they didn't tell me. They told all of them. Okay. So then when I'm down there by myself, here they come taunting me by themselves, filing motions. Oh, Monique did this, Monique did that, and I ain't did a goddamn thing. And they just writing statements and paperwork saying I did this and coming in there messing with me and pulling my kids out to visitations and stuff. I'm like, this is bullshit. But I told them, I said, I told him, I said, now that they cut off they're adding my visitations and giving me my visitations back, they're really about to fuck with me by myself. And every time I would record it. Every time I would call the family therapist like they're doing it again. She said, you said it. So then that next week, we had the trial. By that next week, the judge has now allowed them, or maybe 2 weeks, the judge has now allowed them to cut off the visitations. And that was the last time I had seen my kids, except Nugget. So now the trial is over, and here comes Alicia Green. I'm still carrying myself polished. I'm still carrying myself optimistic because I still have one more child to fight for because Nugget was born after the situation. She had a different case. Okay. If that makes sense.
So,
and because the other
you were
case,
pregnant during this time, or is it?
I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant about, my kids were gone for about a year and 4 months when I found out I was pregnant.
So is that a normal thing that if you have an open CPS case, that if you become pregnant during that time that you're still on the case, they automatically put your kid on the case?
Well, they didn't just put her on the case. I brought Nugget home from the hospital under a case plan. And the case plan, they said I broke the case plan for taking my baby to church.
Explain to me what a case plan is. And for the viewers who don't know.
Man,
I don't even think, I want to say a care plan, not a case plan. It was, a safety plan. That's exactly what it was called, a safety plan. They had me do a safety plan to where, once again, I can't be by myself with my child, with my newborn baby, like I'm going to hurt my baby or something like that, or I'm some type of danger or need to be supervised with my baby. So this old friend of mine, she knew somebody, and she was like, I'm going to help you because I've been seeing you fighting, I've been seeing you trying, and you can't give up, and this is what they want you to do. And, I was scared because maybe 2 weeks before Nugget was born, not even a whole 2 weeks before Nugget was born, they was like, here they coming to the visit, messing, and this is before they cut off the visitations and stuff. Oh yeah, I just wanted to let you know that we'll be taking Nugget too. Well, she didn't say Nugget, but we'll be taking your baby. And I said, I bet you don't. So here goes Monique once again pulling a rabbit out the hat, and I find somebody to do a case plan with me. They wasn't at home. I didn't feel comfortable with leaving my baby with anybody else except that person. So first of all, she told me I could go to church with my baby. It wasn't an issue. You know what I'm saying? We working together. We're going to church. Mm-hmm. So she knew I was going to church. One day she wanted me to leave her baby with one of her kids, and they were smoking weed and stuff like that. And I got a new baby, and y'all done already smoked a blunt in front of my child since I brought her over here. And I'm helping y'all pay rent. Me and my baby daddy's locked up. We helping y'all pay rent and deposit and bills and everything else. Nugget has a different father.
Okay.
So yeah. Nugget has a different father.
So at this time, the person who molested, raped your
he was already
daughter,
incarcerated.
He's incarcerated. At the time, you have another child, and that person is now incarcerated.
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead. I don't mean to cut you. I just want to make sure we're consistent.
Yes.
So during this process, you still are having to adhere to CPS's rules.
Exactly. Even though they done cut the visitations off with my older children, and I have no verdict of whether I'm getting my kids back or not. I found out the verdict through a letter. It
wasn't a hearing?
No. After the trial, they said you will find out if you won your case or not through a letter in the mail. I came home from work. I was working at the Dayton Mall since 2013. And sometime in 2013. And I got home one day after 2-3 months for them to figure out what they wanted to do. And it was damn near cold outside by this time. We done went from a trial and the middle to the end of going from the middle to the end of the summer to finding out the results in like October, November.
So I have a question.
So they got Nugget at this point too?
They had Nugget at this point. Yes.
Damn.
So
all of your children have been taken.
They took Nugget on the strength that I took her to church, and because I decided I did not want to leave my daughter, trying to protect my daughter and not have my daughter with somebody.
Well, where did you?
I went to an appointment for Children's Services at the Sojourner program.
But took her with you.
But took her with me, and they
so
said
what did you have? Was you on house arrest?
No, I'm not. I wasn't allowed to be with my baby by myself. And the woman who my child's father
Is this a law that they have? Is this a statute? What is this?
This is something that they had set in place. How it was
So
set in
who
place.
was supposed to be the supervision over you with you and your child?
Honestly, I didn't even know the woman like that. But
Did she live with you?
No, I turned around and had my own place and moved in, and me and my
How
baby.
can you not be by yourself with your child?
Exactly.
No, how?
I don't know how.
So
I
why are you taking her to church? I mean, you didn't even have to take her to church. You could have just been at home with her, and then she still would have been by herself with the child.
I'm gonna be by myself in the room. That because at the time the woman, she was in the
I can't
process of
understand this structure. This is ridiculous. You can't be with your child by yourself. Who is appointed to be with you with your child in private
24/7.
moments at night, 24/7? Who? Who did they give to you
God.
to? Who? I'm saying who?
Her name was Gina Baker.
Did she live with you?
No,
So how could she?
She
I'll
didn't
tell
live
you
the
with
story
you.
on that too. Whenever I met her, she was trying to help. You know what I'm saying? Because she was just like, this don't make no sense, and this don't make no sense.
So did your child live with you or live with the care person, and the care person?
She lived with. Listen, Miss Gina was in the process of moving from the house over there by the boutique. Whatever that street is on the boutique, she lived over there. She was moving somewhere else. So me and my baby daddy came up with the money to help her move in to that house over there so she could hurry up and get Nugget. Literally, the day that Nugget was born, December 31st, the day that Nugget was born, is the day that she got her keys. And they knew what was going on. So they hurried up and rushed and seen her house, even though it wasn't all the way moved in yet. And when I came home from the hospital, me and my baby went over to her house. We had a bed on the floor. But I had an apartment on the east with exactly what I brought over there, the exact same thing. So I was buying double for nothing.
So
they were
part
making
of
you
your
stay with another person.
Yeah.
You had your own place.
Yeah, so I was helping her with everything there, and we were trying to support each other. She didn't have no problem with me taking her to church, and she really didn't have no problem with me taking her to my appointment. But somebody, well, I don't know, to be honest with you, but...
So you were supposed to be living with somebody.
Right.
Basically.
And
then that's how they could have...
Make you lose your kids, too. Like, how you living with somebody and you got your own place? How you about to help them with everything they got over there, and then you lose your own place?
The problem
And I
with
never
all of
lost
this
my
shit
place.
is...
Never had an eviction. Never had a disconnect
Well,
notice.
somebody in the comment section said that's part of safety plans. But listen though, there's absolutely no way in the world that they can tell somebody to be with you 24/7.
It's impossible, especially when you breastfeed.
And to take or not unless when they leave, they're supposed to take your child with them, and then
she
you
did
just
not.
Right, but what I'm saying is, I was just trying to figure out how
I
in
had
the
an
world
appointment.
could somebody be with you at all times, and this is part of some type of legal binding
Right.
situation that if it's broken, then now your child is removed from you. But I do want to say something. For everybody in the chat who thinks that this shit sounds crazy, it might, but the court system is fucked up too. And so even though some shit might sound like, what the fuck? Oh, hell no, that shit ain't right.
Until they go through it.
Until you go through some shit in court with child custody, with lawyers, with judges, with any type of bureaucracy, you would never imagine that shit like this actually goes on.
I would never thought.
People,
it's actually deeper than this. Once we get smell, I think we need to progress more. It's actually deeper.
and look,
right
this
here.
ain't this and look, Queen. This ain't even me saying that you is goddamn it being in here and telling everything. This like we ain't saying that your story is the gospel, okay? But what I am saying,
It's definitely the gospel.
please believe that the motherfucking courts are not this virtuous thing that everything is right. And the things that happen in court are fair, equal, and just, because it's fucking fucked up. And they will do shit that you would never imagine. And it's unbelievable. And I can tell you, man, sometimes when people used to say shit to me about how the courts and the police and judges and all that fucked them over, I might think like, nigga, you just salty because you did some shit and got caught. But I went through a situation with court, and it was completely a fucking travesty, and it was wrong. So until you get in this situation, you cannot judge. Everybody, we're going to take one quick break real quick, and then we're going to be right back with this story. So do not go no fucking where, man. Watch this little commercial we put together. Yeah. Every time I come in the press room, you in the press room. Working on our Stars Hottronic heat press. Using all the vinyl. Making all the picture tees. I like vinyl.
I'm about to just load these boxes up. I'm out your way.
Man, you gotta be a crazy little brother to get fired on your day off. What you get caught stealing boxes for?
Man, I didn't get caught stealing no boxes. He said he caught me though.
You get our rent paid.
Why don't you go in there and ask the girls real fast to see if they help us pay our rent?
That don't sound like a bad plan at all.
What's up, Pops?
What's up, Smokey?
I'm trying to set up a meeting with the girls, man.
Okay.
Y'all wanna help me and Craig pay our rent?
Craig still owe me money from the last time he got me. He gotta learn a lesson. He shouldn't be stealing. Go ask him to tell that girl from last night to give him some money.
What they say? They said it's slow for real. I'm about to just ask boss when we get our job that night.
Of course you can. Yeah! What's up? I wanted to announce today that we do have a brand new film studio and video studio inside T-Shirt Kings, photography. So if you want to have a photo shoot or anything like that, we're having a special 30-minute shoot. As many pictures as you take, we just email them all to you. You don't have to worry about prints. You get your pictures back before you leave. And so everything that you've always imagined that a photo shoot or that video production should be, we're bringing it to you. One nut, it's on you.
Yeah, so we're kind of getting more into the whole CPS aspect of this, and I want the viewers at home to please be patient because this is a very delicate situation, and it has multiple layers to this story. A lot of y'all are not abreast of the whole story. I have done the research through this whole entire prognosis, if you want to say, of what's really truly going on. I wish that some of y'all would be patient because it takes time to get to the full totality of what this story is and what this story means. So if y'all just want to know about this, of course, yes, her son is missing, but you need to understand all the things that go into this. So we are the Legendary People Podcast. We're here to do a show also. So understand that we're not trying to rush what we're going to talk about. We understand that a lot of people are hateful and they don't want to get to the point, but we're here to actually give you the full story behind everything rather than you having a bunch of talking points other people are saying inside of chat rooms and other things just because the story went viral. We want to get the full story there. You hear it straight from her own mouth rather than letting other people dictate the real story.
And no, but one thing I do want to say is I actually appreciate the comments. So keep them motherfucking comments coming, bro. We gonna address them all. We gonna answer them all. We gonna do a comment section, a comment question and answer. We gonna let you call the show because this is the engagement that we always look for, man. And we appreciate everybody asking your questions.
Y'all.
We gonna get to it. And shit, we here for the viewers in a way, right? So we gonna let you guys help us run this thing, man. No problem, man. Tell us what you want us to talk about, and we gonna address it all, right? All right. Here we go. All right.
So at the time we're talking about more of the courts being in cahoots. Is this Montgomery County or is this a different place? Like, what is the jurisdiction of this CPS?
This was Montgomery County CPS, and at the time, like while I was fighting them, I go to visitation one day, and they have this sign they putting up, adopt a kid today. And I'm like, they're trying to take in literally every person that was in that visitation room that I would see week by week by week. They took all of our kids, all of ours. And I still don't think nobody went through what I went through until I just recently, when I came out about my son missing, and I seen a young girl that was in foster care tell me what she went through. And I was floored.
Right. Well, and to speak to that, shout out to the Legendary People comment section. We actually learned something today that what We had a commenter say, I don't have the name there, but E's got me there. And they validated your story saying that they grew up in the foster care service their whole life. And what you're saying is actual and factual. So
yeah,
that
I think
is
we
valid.
talked. Is it Tasha Moore?
Yes.
Tasha Moore and Demetria Hester is definitely in the comment section saying that she done had a negative experience with the court system and a bunch of shit, you know. Yeah. And then Angela Red just said the court system has flaws, but it looks like other issues too. I'm just saying. Okay. So, you know, she here with a little bit of a goddamn it, you feel me?
Well, with a question mark. So,
yeah.
So,
well, baby, let me clear it up for you. What's your question? Who was that? What? What's her name?
We gonna a little later. But
yeah. So, but it's Angela Red.
We here to answer all questions to clear it up.
So speaking of which, I watched a 2 hour. Wait.
Ask your questions.
So I watched a 2 hour live.
Tell her to call in.
I watched a 2 hour live and you said something along the lines of you were blaming Reggie for, you know what I'm saying, your kids being removed from your home. Who is Reggie?
That is Melody's dad.
Okay. So when he's locked up, you're still going through the battle of getting your first 2 children. But at the time you're pregnant. How much time?
3. It was 3. Melody, Antonia, and Antonio.
Yeah. So you were pregnant with someone else's child during this time, or was this his child?
I got pregnant while I was fighting my case. At the time, I don't regret my child. Right. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I was completely alone. I didn't have anybody to love me, and I didn't have anybody to love. Mm-hmm. And I've been a mom since I was 17 years old. Mm-hmm. But I feel like, you know, if I would have been in the mindset that I had now, Nugget wouldn't even be here. But if Nugget was not here today, where would I be?
So, I'm just trying to get time together, right? So, when he is sentenced and he goes to prison, what sentence does he get for his crime?
Who?
The person who raped your
child. He got I know he was a sex offender. It was rape. It was complete rape. Yeah. It wasn't
How much time did he get?
He got 4 years.
4 years, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
So damn.
That's crazy. But so
seems like
during
it should
time,
be longer, man. I ain't gonna lie.
So, but I'm still trying to establish on the time frame of you having a child and then it going into service as him going to prison.
He was down there on his way about to get out, and he was getting all the letters from the courts because I have a child with him. So all the bad stuff they were saying about me, he was getting it, and they had all of me and my kids.
Interesting parties with it. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. At the end of the paperwork, they had all of our addresses on there. So he writes me a letter while I'm fighting for my case. He's like, damn, baby mama, I don't know what's going on, and I know you don't want to hear from me, but I need you to fight for our kids, and, you know, just like we was cool or something. Mm-hmm. So I give the letter to Children's Services. Like, how the fuck is he able to contact me? And I done moved on the east. I don't live on Manhattan anymore. How does he have my address? So they tell me we put it in the documentation, but did you have my permission? Well, that's public record because he has a child with you, but he has molested my child. He is you know what I'm saying? How is this possible? They gave him, they you know, tried to give him rights to be able to say, oh, I want a paternity test for Melody. You know, it was just so much. It was like, it was unbelievable. It was unreal.
Yeah.
So after they've taken your children, so to me, like, my exchange with, you know what I'm saying, I mean, I've been on child support before, and then normally whenever they make a declaration or something like that, they'll say, if you do not like this outcome, you can do this.
Appeal it. Yeah. You're talking about after the trial.
Was there any paperwork that said that you could appeal the decision of them taking your children?
Yes.
What was your response to that?
I wanted to appeal it.
Okay, so did you?
I attempted to appeal it, and the attorney said he was not willing to take the case any further, and that there was nothing I could do for my kids. His name was David Stinson. And I did not have the money to move forward because I was still fighting for custody of Nugget. So I had to make sure I had the finances available for Nugget, basically put me in a situation where I got to leave my kids behind. Mm-hmm. It was the worst feeling to ever have, to wake up to and still have to get up and go to work, still have to get up and maintain my composure so I can keep a job and fight for Nugget. It was very hard. On top of my mama had just died, and then my biological mom, because I was adopted inside of my family. Wow. You know what I'm saying? But mine was because my mom was sick. My mom had cancer when I was born. So I was raised by my great aunt. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and then for my mom to turn around and die in Cancer Treatment Centers of America, it was, or no, I take that back. They let her come home from Cancer Treatment Centers of America, and she ended up being able to have hospice care. And her knowing what I was going through, my mom didn't even tell me she was about to pass away. I found out less than 24 hours before my mom died that she was about to die. And then when she was taking her last breaths, I was like, Nugget had just got took. It was like, boom, we took Nugget, boom, your mama dead. But right after I found out I was pregnant with Nugget, my mama died. You know what I'm saying? It was just like a domino effect, back to back to back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was bad.
So like we kind of talked about the road of getting Nugget back. What was that road like to get Nugget back, and then to actually get her back? What was that like completely? So let's just focus on that. What was the road to getting Nugget back, and what was it like once you got her back? How much time had passed during that time? If you allow me.
When I was getting Nugget back and Alicia came on, they had cut off visitations for a while.
How long is a while?
I want to say like 2-3 weeks.
Okay.
So, in between those 2-3 weeks, I'm praying. I'm at the church diligently. You know what I'm saying? I was just in this space trying to, you know, pray over, am I going to get my other kids back? Because at the time, I didn't know whether I was going to get them back or not. I didn't know what my visitation schedule was, if it was going to get in the way of my job, because most jobs wanted me to work Monday through Friday, but I got visitations on Wednesday. So it was even hard to keep a job because of those visitation hours.
And how does it feel to have your children taken from you? Like, what is that like, man? I mean, that is the worst thing ever. But from a mother, how is it?
I mean, it's self-explanatory. When you take a cub away from a mama bear, what's she gonna do? She gonna smack fire out. She's gonna smack your head off. Yeah. She's gonna try to take your whole camp, your whole village. You better give me my bear back.
Right.
And that's what I was on. Oh, you about to try to take my kids? I'm lawyering up. I'm going to NAACP. They put NAACP out, would let them in the court hearing. I don't see how they got away with what they went through.
Yeah.
Right.
Period.
So, Antonio is 14 now, and he was taken away when he was 6. Is that right?
Correct.
So we got a 8-year period of you. Have you always been? Was there ever a time period where a year went by where you couldn't have any visitation, see him, talk to him, and didn't know where he was?
That's been this whole time since they cut off those visitations.
So since they cut off the visitations, he was essentially missing to you. You didn't know where he was.
No, what I'm saying is, from the visitation, I have not physically seen my son.
Since he was 6?
Since he was 6. My son wasn't taller than me yet. Nothing. I have not seen my son since they cut off those visitations, because after that, I got the letter saying that they were taking permanent custody of my kids.
Right.
Based on what factor?
They didn't have a factor. She said if I had the documentation, and I am in the process, I went down yesterday and filed to see, and I have to see if they'll even give me my case jacket with everything.
So 8 years has went by and they haven't told you the official reason why they took your children?
No, they told me. They said per the guardian ad litem's request for my kids to stay in custody, they said they were not able to come to a decision in the letter. It was bullshit. It was bullshit. They said because of the guardian ad litem's request for the kids to remain in custody, she was the only one to say she wanted my kids to remain in custody. The therapist said she wanted the kids to come home. The psychiatrist said she wanted the kids to come home. The family therapist said she wanted the kids to come home. And she was the closest.
Who is the guardian ad litem?
Her name was Virginia Vanderbosch.
And Virginia Vanderbosch has this power based on what?
Being the guardian ad litem. So basically she was the mom outside of the person to speak for the well-being of the kids.
And was there any type of timeline on when you could get your children back or what you could do in order to at least have some type of visitation? Because 8 years to take your children away with no visitation, no type of information on what you could do to get your children back seems crazy.
It does.
And that's exactly been the situation. I didn't know my son was adopted out. I did not know my son's name had been changed.
How did you find out that his name was changed?
Because the lady put a flyer up looking for my son
While he was missing.
while he was missing. And she said his name was Antonio Foley.
So,
Well, they came in and adopted your son what year? Do you know?
I don't know.
Do you know how old he was?
I don't know.
Was he in no contact? You couldn't reach out to him. You couldn't find him. Were you trying to find him?
I would look for him on social media. I would look for my daughter, but they were still young.
We're talking about an 8-year-old. So listen,
right.
he take him when he's 6.
At that time, I knew his foster parents, and they were black. Mm-hmm. And they knew he had contact with me, so they moved him out of that home.
So that's what I'm saying. Listen, he got taken at 6. Had you contacted him were you allowed to have contact?
I wasn't allowed to, so it was always a discretion that had to be there.
It was always some underground shit where
Yes,
you had
sir.
to try to
Yes,
get out to him.
Yes.
All right, so, but did you ever say, fuck that, I'm still going to reach out to my son no matter what the fuck y'all tell me?
Yes.
And did you talk to him in this
No.
8-year span?
No.
But,
but you said that he was with a black foster family. How did you catch wind of that when he was, 8?
Well, he was already with them, and they were going to testify on my behalf. And they said they were going to take their license because they had made an allegation that my son. They made allegations. Like I said, they made allegations against my mom, against me, against my family, against my kids, saying that they caught my son. Or the foster parent, because at first they had my oldest son and my oldest daughter together because they have the same mom and same dad. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, about a week or two later, they're separated, mm-hmm. And they say they separated them because they caught my son watching my daughter in the shower. It was always some sexual pedophile shit.
Well, they 6 and 7.
Exactly. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like I ain't. My son don't even know what's going on.
All right. So this is a bunch of like bureaucracy type fucking somebody seeking witch hunt type shit.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Cool. So, but what I want to find out is the young king Antonio was 6 years old when he was taken from you. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, all of these years are piling up. Are you trying to find him during these years?
Yes.
And you can't find any information?
Nothing.
How are you trying to find him?
I would try through Google search, but it wasn't a lot I could go off of after they moved him from that family. I didn't know whether he was in Dayton, whether he was in Columbus, if he was in Cincinnati. I didn't know where to look, who to look for, except to type my son's name in.
Right.
And he's a kid, so you're not going to get a lot of information on him.
And the court system.
I was always, hitting the brick wall.
When they did say, okay, listen, we're going to remove your child from you permanently. This is a permanent removal.
I found that out with a letter.
But they're saying a permanent removal?
A permanent custody removal.
A permanent, they
per
do.
the guardian ad litem.
But they'll say that, so for instance, like,
but
my understanding was this, like they sent the letter stating that this is what's going to happen, but you can't appeal it during this time. She tried to do it, but was unable to because her attorney couldn't go forward.
But that's a life sentence, though, bro. That's a life sentence, man.
Smith, and then after you do not adhere to that,
you only got 10 days. You only got 10 days.
Yeah. So then after the 10 days lapse, that's when they say, okay, you must agree to. It's the same thing when like you go through one of those.
It wasn't no. You must.
Like,
listen.
You
must agree. It was just like
what you're saying is right, bro.
It wasn't like you must agree. You already agree. It's just like it's done.
No, they do that. Listen, you are right 1,000,000%. I know that they do that, but there should be some type of timeline here, bro. It's hard for somebody to say, we're going to take your kids, okay? This word should not be permanent, but it should be indefinite.
Yes.
The indefinite means we're taking them away for a period of time that hasn't been determined yet, right. But at some point we can get this resolved. You see, I don't.
We tried that. See, that's what we never got to cover. Let's go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Yeah.
Let me. In the times where they could have been trying to resolve the issue.
Yeah.
Like I said, once my kids got removed, so now I don't have Medicaid. Now I don't have care source. Now I don't have resources.
Right.
I'm getting stripped of everything that I could possibly have to help me get my kids back.
Right.
Boom. Now I'm losing my job because I'm going to visitations and I'm going to classes and I need to be working.
Right.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hear you, yeah.
So now I'm asking for the housing people to help me get another house so I can maintain my house or to get another house to be big enough for my family to come home. We get a meeting with Homeful in March. What year was that? This is before I got pregnant. Yeah, this is before I got pregnant. We get a meeting with Children's Services in March and Homeful with March. The lady comes to the interview and says, they was like, well, considering she has an open children's services case, we can help her, but we're not going to help her because it's y'all's jobs to help her get housing so she can get her kids back. Michelle Smith sat right there and said, she was like, oh no, we're not going to help her get her kids back, and we're not going to help her get housing because we plan on filing for permanent custody. They didn't file for permanent custody until a year later.
So, but like that was your first inclination that that was their goal and that was their intention.
Yes, sir. They never tried to help me. They made it so hard. I'm telling you, it was the most difficult time. I don't even see how I made it to the finish line, still with a job, with a home, with my pride, with my integrity, with my sane mind. Like it was something I had to do. I had to do because I was fighting for my kids.
So, how long did it take you to get Nugget back? Is like the main what I'm trying to do, because I'm trying to figure out how come
a year and a half. So how come at that year and a half they didn't award you all your children rather than just one? Because before they even gave me the opportunity to fight for Nugget, they had already took permanent custody of Antonia, Titus, and Melody.
Okay.
Because Nugget was born because of that case. That safety plan was broken. They said they didn't until when that safety plan got broken with Nugget is when they filed for the permanent custody.
Permanent custody of the other kids, but not Nugget.
But not Nugget because she was a different case. So they had to have probable cause.
Right. All right. So
does that make sense?
I hear what you're saying. Yeah. It doesn't make sense, but it's not because what you're saying is not true. But the system has not made sense here because
I'm just trying to
you should always
to let you know there was no help.
You should always be able to have some type of restoration of a situation like this, especially when the case wasn't even necessarily against you.
No, it was never against me.
But we're not trying to say that any of this system makes sense at all. We just know what it inflicts upon one, two, or whoever that it's inflicting this bullshit on. But getting back to the young king, so we got years of you fighting to get your children back in various ways. You're running into different roadblocks. You still living your life. You are trying to find a job. You trying to get enough bread up where you can have a place big enough. You got 4 children at this point.
I had the home, but I moved out of that home because it was like a spirit. It was like an energy in that home, especially after the assault had taken place. I'm sitting in this big ass house.
Yeah, you're talking about the Manhattan house?
Yes.
Yeah, so we passed that. No, we up out of there. The fucked up shit happened there. You didn't want to be there anymore.
But I always had the home.
Right. But what I'm saying is, after that, down the road, man, that was first year. But we going into the rest of the years. Sometimes it's hard for people to get on their feet. I know plenty of people. Man, we all fighting to get on our feet for years. Even if you're doing good, you still are trying to get on your feet on another level, right? Yeah. So this ain't to condemn you, but what they were doing was they was looking for some stability from you.
I never not had this ability.
Well, according to this bar that they're trying to set for you, they were denying you because they said the stability wasn't there.
I always had a job. I always had my house. I just didn't stay there.
Right.
I didn't resettle at home until I was on Pleasant.
So we do
But I
got
still had that house.
we have some communication between you and your son.
Okay.
All right. Now, because we got the pictures that you sent us, and when he sent you a text message, you guys also shared a phone call conversation. How did you guys?
Well, we never had a phone call conversation since he's been missing. Period.
Not since he's been missing, but before he went missing.
Yes.
You walk us through the day that you guys actually talked to each other.
Okay.
Rekindle.
Well, like I said earlier, the lady was having me just talk to her for about 8-9 months. I was talking to her on the phone, text messages.
How old is he at this time?
This was just last year.
So, like, how did you make that connection of the foster, like the adopted family? How did you make that connection with the adopted family?
Well, at the time, my oldest daughter had ran away, and she reached out to me. So I stepped in. I'm coming to get you. I was about to move to Cincinnati, and I was just like, I know I'll still be close if my kids need me. I'm not gonna move back down south. I'm gonna just go to Cincinnati. And I was just through. I was about to start over with Nugget then. Her dad had just got out, and things, it was just like I was going right back into this dark place again. Like, you always put a nigga through a situation, you know what I'm saying, when I'm going through something. So I was just, about to just restart over. I'm one of those people, when you start over, I'm glad to start over. I'm proud to start over. It's refreshing. So the next day after I moved to Cincinnati, here comes my daughter calling me, Mom, they put drugs in my, they're saying I have a positive drug screen and I don't do drugs, and they're doing this to me and doing that. I shot back the date and then never went back to Cincinnati, period.
So like, you always had a conversation with your daughter, or that's the first time you talked to her as well?
That was my first time talking to her as well.
She just called you out the clear blue?
Out of clear blue.
Okay.
When I was getting ready to leave, so I knew it was meant for me to be back in Dayton.
Right.
I never left.
Okay.
So when she said that, I came up here, I got her, I picked her up, and she was like, I'm going to have to go back. Well, where are you going back to? Mom, I'm in a group home. Antonia, or Melody and Titus have been adopted out. So that's when I found out they were adopted. I still didn't know that my son's name was changed. I don't know if she knew my son's name was changed. You know what I mean?
It's no
but she just started telling me everything. Mm-hmm. Well, once I got her situated and took her back to the group home in Trotwood, I made contact with Children's Services, like, okay, since she's still in Children's Services, can I have a family member? I was in a better space. So I'm like, can I have a family member since I can't get her? And they was like, well, yes, it's possible that you can do that. And I'm like, somebody reached out to me a couple of years ago. Someone reached out to me in 2019 about possibly getting custody of my daughter.
But I don't want to get past this moment just for a second. What was it like to finally see your daughter after all that time?
I was very thankful I was thankful. I mean, as soon as I heard my daughter's voice say mommy, like, I was just like, Antonia, and I heard her crying.
Wow.
Like, I knew I was going to be there. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even about a feeling. At that moment, it was, I got to get to my daughter and I can't disappoint her. I got to be there at this time.
Mama Bear showed up.
Yeah, Mama Bear showed up, pulled up. So, I reached out to Children's Services.
Yeah.
I ended up communicating with them for some months. And I had a meeting with them in July of last year.
Okay.
Trying to get custody of Antonia.
Okay.
So they was like, yes, it's possible you can get her out the system, or we can turn around and allow her to stay in custody and put her in the same adopted home as Melody, so Melody doesn't be by herself. So now I have to choose whether to leave my daughter in the system or pull her out and leave Melody by herself.
Like 2-card Monty saying, like, you got to take one and leave one, or let them be together is the choices that they gave.
It was a very, very hard decision. And I was like, I can't make this decision by myself. So I asked my daughter, because she was 14 at the time. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what do you want to do? because I would have pulled her out. And she said, I want to be with my sister and know that she's okay so I can protect my little sister.
How long have they not talked to each other at this point in time?
That's a very good question. Last year, or no, was that this year? This year, the foster parents were having problems with Antonia because I found out that my daughter can't have kids. My daughter, from the time of the assault to now, she's always had problems with her bladder. During the time of the case, they would always, oh, she's got problems with her bladder and you need to worry about fixing it. How can I do that? And you guys aren't allowing me to be there. Right. How are you guys not tending to her with this and making her feel bad about it? Like she's, 7 years old and just peeing on herself. She wasn't just peeing on herself. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot going on. It was a lot. So at the time, Antonia having those problems, they wouldn't get her any Depends or the new little panties that they got. They wouldn't give her anything. And then they would sit there and talk bad about her. Melody's already been in this adopted home for however long she's been in this adopted home. So she's just like, okay, Antonia, why are you? You know what I'm saying? To where it was Antonia's self-esteem getting beat down. They're manipulating her. They're tearing her self-esteem down. They're making her feel bad for something that she doesn't have in control over. That's not her fault.
Right.
So Antonia runs away again. When she runs away, she tells me to come pick her up. I didn't know where I was picking her up from, but I went to pick up my child.
Right.
If you're going to be anywhere, I need to know you're safe. So you're going to be with me until we figure it out, or until you figure it out, or until you're ready to go back.
We got a call in.
Alrighty.
Check in with it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hello?
Tell them to turn their radio down.
Please mute your whatever device you're listening to the Legendary People podcast on for a second. Name of the caller and where you calling from?
Hey, this is Angela Red Pumpkin.
Hey, how you doing, Angela? How you doing? So, you had a question?
Hey, how are you doing?
Exceptionally well.
I just want to tell a young lady I am not against her. I thoroughly know and believe the system has flaws. I sympathize with everything she's saying. It victimizes all African Americans, females, males, and children. Mm-hmm. However, the story that we're hearing is not cohesive. That's what I would say.
In what part, so I can clear it up? What part do you need understanding on? Because I want everybody to have understanding at this point, because we need to all understand how this is possible, and I need you guys to understand what I've been through.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible, and I've been in court situations, never with children's services. I do want to say that. But as a mother, I believe all people should have an opportunity to raise their children.
Absolutely.
Do not like the fact that you could not see your children. That's why I tuned in. I was like, we got a missing kid. I asked my kids, do y'all know him? We gonna find him.
He ain't even been here.
However, I got lots of questions, and I understand. I know I don't understand children's services process, but I mean, I'm hearing about a person that abused a child, but they're punishing you. That's not making sense. Why are they punishing you for a person someone else who did it? Are they saying that you had knowledge? I don't know. I don't understand.
They thought I had knowledge. They did try to say that. They said when I was in the hospital room with my daughter, okay, like I said, I had a little, the phone that I had at the time that I called 911 for, the screen was messed up on the phone. So when I would press the go, I knew I could dial a number, but I couldn't see who I was calling. These was, this was the old phones before the technology now. And I had a laptop that I would use at home with for my social, or to look for jobs or anything like that. And I had my laptop with me, and I was talking to my friend Kia Bridges at the time, because me and her, she was married to Reggie's cousin. Yeah. And she was like a support system we were just cool. We were really close. We would talk, we would hang out, it was just a thing. So when the situation happened, I was messaging her on Messenger. Girl, you would never believe what the fuck my daughter just told me. So while I'm messaging her and I'm trying to stay focused on the laptop and not watch my daughter get a pelvic exam, they were making it seem as if I was messaging Reggie.
Oh, wow.
Okay, okay. Now that's part maybe we didn't hear.
I never said that. I didn't get the right question to ask, and I didn't think to put that in there, but that's what that comes from. They initially, instead of asking me or looking on my laptop, you know what I'm trying to say, they just automatically was just like, oh, she's messaging Reggie. So then when he writes that letter about 2-3 years down the line, and he was like, I know you ain't never, I've tried to contact you before and you've never responded and da-da-da-da. I gave them that letter. They was like, well, we're happy you gave us this letter because we thought you was in contact with him. And I cussed them out. I was like, why would you think I'm in contact with him?
So as a teachable moment, we need to tell all of our young queens and kings that when our children are going through exams, be present, be asking questions. This is not a tea party. This is time to be in their business because it's my child.
And I was.
That's the first thing. Second thing I had an issue with, or I was concerned with, was in your interview you said that you got pregnant with your new baby, but when you came home, you came to this demon chick and you just met her?
I had just met her. My mama had died.
I don't let her finish her question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I want you as a fellow sister of ours, because we're all black in this together, so as a fellow sister, to get healing in that, because we can't just meet people and move in with them, because people ain't right.
Oh, yeah, and I seen it, and the consequence was, you know, at the time, we were just trying to keep Nugget away from being in children's services. We didn't know what to do. This woman did this out of the kindness of her heart.
Oh, no.
What'd you say?
She could have been a plant for children's services. This are being incarcerated, and they put people in the cells with them to find out and twist the words these people say.
Yes.
Gina, we don't know what her motives was, because that's odd to me.
Yes.
That's odd.
I only had met her one time prior, and between that time, I guess she had a conversation with my friend, my old friend at the time. Like, I don't have the same friends now. I don't have the same mindset.
They weren't no good friends.
No, ma'am. None whatsoever.
Disrespectful, even call them friends.
Yeah, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Force a habit. An old associate was telling her about my situation, and when she see me again, she said, I'll help you get your baby back. And to me, that was a blessing, because I didn't have nobody to help me. I didn't have nobody to call. Wasn't nobody there. I didn't even know if God was there.
I'm also going to say this throughout your interview. This is what I take, and this is just me on the outside. You keep saying you have nobody. That scares me in our community, because you truly may feel that you have nobody.
Yeah.
Well, I don't feel that way now, but at the time, that's exactly how I felt.
Yeah. You're going to search for a man. You're going to search for a friend who do not have your best intentions.
Yes.
And that's how Nugget got here. I wasn't searching.
These guys are in prison. Terrible guys, then.
Yes.
Terrible.
So they obviously didn't mean you good or your children good. So that's when I said I don't get it. So I wasn't attacking you. I was like, there was a whole bunch of issues behind the scenes.
Yeah, most definitely.
You thought I was attacking you. That wasn't what it was. I don't believe in the white man system. Now, Tina, you know me. Smedge, you know me. You know I don't play them games.
Yes.
So.
Most definitely. There's so many in-betweens.
You the most dark-skinned, light-skinned person I know, man.
What's his name? What's her name? Miss Angela?
Yeah.
Miss Angela, there's so many in-betweens that we haven't discussed. If I wrote a book, you gonna get all your questions answered, and you gonna shake your head, you gonna cry, you gonna think about everything our ancestors went through that was 10 times worse than what I've been through, let alone read the in-betweens. Like, there was so many in-betweens that
Nugget, yeah. It's hard to tell.
But all of them.
It's I mean,
I love you for calling in. I'm going to take a letter.
all right, you guys, everybody, y'all can keep calling. Yeah, we got some other people trying to call in. But one thing that I do want to say, like this, you can't expect this to be a complete story, because man, we're talking about 8 years of different situations day by day, and it's very hard for you to remember a day by day. Well, it is. You may remember everything when these right questions are asked, but you can't remember everything just to tell. So we got another caller calling in, and yeah.
Podcast. Your name and where you calling from?
Demetria Hester from Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
Portland, Oregon. Nice.
Checking in. Okay, go ahead. Your question, Queen.
Huh?
What'd you say?
I said you already know we have to check in. This Black Queen is in a disarray of what's going on with the corrupt capitalist system.
Okay.
All right. So, do you got a question for our guest, Demetria?
Yes, my question is, Queen, please explain how this corrupt system has been doing us for years and how people can, I know they have this, I can't believe it, but let them know this is a regular thing that they do to us.
Yeah, I wasn't the only person.
Us, so tell them how they criminalize you just for speaking up to get those kids back.
Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Hey, well, ask her what's her experience with the system.
Yeah. Queen, what is your experience with the unjust system?
Oh my God, let's go there then. Okay, let's go there.
Lord.
I had my kids, my daughter and my son taken away from me on the simple fact of discipline. Discipline. A lot of these, then they accuse me of abusing. It's the whole criminal system. What they do is criminalize us as African women. They take our children and then they tell our children
lies
we don't want
about
them.
you.
Then they say you got to do what they make you do in order to get your kids. They try to colonize you and your kids. If you don't raise your kids like they want to,
Exactly.
they keep them. Then they take you and put you in a parenting class to teach you your children and you that y'all are friends. That y'all
Facts.
are friends.
Facts.
Then they try to manipulate your children to think that, hey, your parents are, your mom and your dad are together. We have ruling over them. We can tell them what to do. And then think about how your children is thinking of their parents, like, oh my God, they're criminalizing my parents. They're doing this to me. And then, why do you think they run away? Why do you think they are not wanting to be abused by a system that says they protect them? Look at what happened to her daughter. I mean, just our kids, and when we get them back, they are so damaged.
My daughter is damaged.
Mentally to heal with our children. We don't have any because this system is getting hand over hand money for us and our children. And we don't get none of that. We don't even have the space or the time to heal with our children without, like she said, having to worry about paying rent, paying all our bills, keeping the roof of our children's heads, being safe.
Hey, Demetria, Demetria.
Taking my wife.
Get her.
Demetria.
So, I got a question in the chat that's asking, what type of discipline did your children receive in order for them to take them from you?
A spanking.
Shoot.
You saying a spanking. So
I got a children's services case for telling her son she was gonna whoop him.
Thank you.
And they literally came out and investigated her son. Her son was my son's complexion. And this white woman still checked her body over to see, and they taunted her for like 6-8 months.
Demetria.
I'm here. It's Demetria.
All right. Demetria. Sorry about that, Queen. But what I wanted to ask you was, did they tell you what you should have done instead of spanking your child? Like,
how can you tell somebody how to deal with that kid?
All I want to know is, you're right, but what I'm trying to figure out is, how are they trying to tell you to parent your child? Like,
that's the system. They want you to colonize their children like they teach their children.
Put your child on timeout.
and this was, where did your children get taken from? In Portland or in Ohio or what?
It was in Washington State.
And what law did you break?
It wasn't a law. It was there. It's their rules. It's never a law.
As far as children's services?
They make up every rule. They tell if you leave That's not a law. That's their ruling.
Have you been able to get?
Have you been able to
get the children back?
Demetri, have you been able to, like, obtain like custody back after this situation, or are you still estranged?
3 years I had to fight, and I was
3 years.
I had to have supervised visits with my own son every weekend, and at the time I couldn't find a job in Tacoma. That's what happened, and so I spent to get a job that would allow me to go every weekend to see my son, because the son's job that you can get that lets you have
My
days
God.
off when you go visit your son
On the
and then have to
weekend.
come back.
Right.
So imagine her situation. Them putting her through all of that,
Thank you for the
let alone
Hey,
my situation.
this-
and they put me through 20 times more.
Does the system get any type of financial gain when they're taking your kids away from you and then they adopt your kids
know
out?
the games, man. You
I'm
know
just
the games.
asking.
These people
I don't
get
know.
paid
Like jail.
at least $2,000 a
Like
month.
the
But
prison
meanwhile, the pictures
get
that I
them
would
up.
get of my son, he flooding. But y'all living. I googled these people. They
So
living in a
the-
$360,000 house, but my son is flooding.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Y'all worried about the wrong thing. My son need a retwisting these videos, looking halfway crazy, need a haircut and everything else, but y'all living in a $360,000 house.
So during your research, you did end up finding out who had your children. What?
After my son came up missing.
So, afterwards. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So back to when your daughter told you about what was going on. So you came to the decision of letting them stay together, or did you ultimately get?
Antonia decided to stay with her sister.
Okay, perfect. So then, like after that happens, you allow your daughter to go be with your other daughter, which is better for her in the system.
And
How much
they
time
was-
passed from there until your son coming up missing?
Okay. It was around Passover when Antonia and Melody were together.
This year?
Of this year, yes, sir. This all just happened. This is all new. Because I've been on Children's Services ad once my daughter popped up like, Mom, they saying I got drugs in my system and they treating me bad. Oh, yeah, I know my daughter ain't on drugs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I stepped in as the mother should. So they were just like, okay, well, and I told them, I'm around. You're
Right.
not about to, once I was able to get the right
contact,
contacts, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
And they was just like, okay, well, your daughter's not going to take no for an answer. She's adamant of wanting you in her life.
Right.
So they had a visit over the summer with my son, and she slipped him my phone number.
Okay.
So then next thing you know, I guess he was talking to the folks and was like, I want my mom to be a part of my life and stuff. Like, my mom has done nothing wrong. So for another, now this is last year as far as that visit. I'm sorry, I said this year. Last year they had that visit.
Okay.
So then after Antonia being drugged and hospitalized for being poisoned or whatever it was, I can't remember exactly what they said. After that, actually the same day that they told me the good news about that, they also told me, because they knew if I would have consciously or legally knew then to go file an emergency ex parte over my daughter,
Yes.
I would have done just that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I was always in my mind, I don't have no rights.
Right.
I don't have no rights. If one of my kids die today, I don't have the right to know, let them tell it. But yet, I don't even have the right to report the bruises and the scars that these people, I still have not been able to make a police report about my son. But let me get back to your question first before I get there, because we're actually getting closer to my son missing. So the lady tells me, be looking out for a call or a message from Randy Foley, that is Titus's adopted mom. And I knew about him being adopted because my daughter had already told me. So I was just humble and grateful and just like, come on, God, bring it all together. Bring it all together.
You want that
However it is.
connection as a mother.
Yes,
like,
yes.
I don't
I'm humble.
Right.
If you love my son, I love you.
There you go.
So I was talking to her the whole time, but I never got to talk to my son. Ever. I never heard my son's voice. Still didn't know whether he was alive or not.
What were you guys' conversations like?
very basic. Like we were trying to build a friendship. Mm-hmm. And I was fine with that, with intentions of being able to see my son and hear my son's voice. She would have my son write me letters. I'm like, damn, I can't talk to him over the phone. I talk to you over the phone. He can't text me. You know what I'm saying? This is 2020.
I mean, it's a delicate situation right here. So I know that you are kind of being delicate how you're dealing with her and not being too forceful for her to just like scare her off and cut off all contact.
Yeah.
So right now you just pretty much trying to just finesse and let the Most High work however he's going to work and bring it in the proper time. But so what we see your son here. Let me pull this up real quick.
So you can take that thing. You can take that picture down because really and truthfully, that's my son in that picture. That's his face, but it has his name changed and everything else. That's not my son.
That's not your son's name, right? But this is your son, though.
Yes.
This is his picture.
And that's the half face.
So we just trying to.
I've never seen before until I seen that picture.
So all right. So this is his adopted mom.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what we're talking is your son, a young king, black, right, is adopted by a white family. Do you know how long when they adopted your son?
No.
Did you ask her how long he's been with them?
Honestly, I didn't want to know. I just wanted to know what type of person she was. I wanted to know my son was eating good, so we would talk about what she would be cooking. And I was trying to focus on building a bond with her since you are, in fact, his adopted parent. And I was doing just that.
And she was trying to probe you to get to know if you would be a safe person for her adopted son, your son, and to be able to come around. Right. Both of you guys trying to just kind of like feel each other out as what type of people you guys are.
And I feel like my energy was way more pure. Like she didn't ask too many questions either, but I could always tell her energy was real standoffish. Like she's whatever bad stuff that I've told you guys, I'm pretty sure she heard it too.
Right.
To come up with this bad picture about me. It wasn't, nothing was ever proven in court, but these were just rumors.
Based off your interaction, what do you think her goal and her intentions were
to call you in the first place? Yeah.
I think her goal was to get to know me, and she didn't know that my goal was to just get to know her too. And in that time, I was catching her. She'll be like, "Oh well, he has his problems in school, but we deal with them." I'm like, "What kind of problems?" Well, he's the only, it's not, so he has a lot of problems with intimidating people because he's taller, and I'm only 5'2". What does that mean? What does that mean? He's having a lot of problems, like, how is his height? How are you intimidated by what
she's saying? He a big black nigga, and around all these little white people, everybody is afraid of him because of our fucked up belief systems about what black people can do.
But she, instead of saying that, she'd be like, "So we have him in therapists, and we put him in hypnosis and all that. Did you ever think about praying with him? Did you ever think about just giving him?" Building his confidence and letting him know that he's normal, but you can't tell him he's normal because you're not the same as him. You don't know what it is.
What was their reason, man? What was their, and we welcome the mother of the son we welcome the adopted mother of Antonio, okay, to come on the show, and you can also contribute to helping us find Antonio. And if you see this podcast, this is not to slam you, but we're asking all these tough questions, and it's what everybody is thinking. And in the black community, there is questionable motive as to why a white family would adopt a black child. And we have seen movies like The Blind Side. Okay, we're talking about a 6'4" young king that's in basketball. So what I would like to know is, who put him in basketball? Did you guys adopt this young bro? Put him in basketball? Not to, goddamn it, see if he could play. Shit, you done heard all of these things about black people and basketball and all of these stereotypes. And so, did you adopt him when he was 6'1" in the 5th grade? Did you adopt him when he was,
6 years old?
Yeah. We just trying to just figure out the motive, man. The motive as to why anybody adopts anybody, because some people do it for money. Some people do it because they want to give a good home to a child they think that they can help. So it's not always a bad situation, but the questions that we asking are like relevant, and I think that these questions are reasonable. So you are questioning his mother to try to see what type of person she is. In the meanwhile, your son contacts you. He contacts you through text message, through what?
We got a call right
he
now.
was getting a
We
letter.
got a call. Okay. Caller, state your name and where you calling from. Nowhere. All right. So he contacts you. But even though
he was never able to contact me. He didn't contact me until this year, after Antonio was with Melody, and they had another visit together, and she slipped him my number because he was like, "Have you talked to Mom?" Because she had told him, "I talk to Mom, and Mom's doing good. I talk to Mom all the time. I make sure I talk to Mom all the time."
Right.
So she slipped him my number. When he had
did he text you?
No, he didn't call me. When he hit me up on Instagram, it was I was just like, my son, you know what I mean? And she ended up calling me. Yeah, I seen he messaged you on Instagram. And I'm not really ready for that right now, for him to talk to you. So yeah, that's not going to happen again.
How did you feel in that moment?
Like, I don't want to be,
Ghetto,
but I literally felt like I could pull her soul out of her body and just, bury it in a jar and piss on it and all that.
To me, that there is a hint of evil in that. There's when a child is calling for their mother.
That's wild.
And for somebody to deny them the opportunity to make that connection based on their own 14-year-old wants, it's wrong.
Yes.
It's wrong.
I agree.
There's no way that you can't facilitate that in some type of safe space, protecting, no doubt about it. But there is always a side to the story, which is your side to the story. And it's valid enough for her to say, you know what? Whatever happened 8 years ago at this point, and this young man wants to talk to his mother. Ma'am, you not his mother for real.
Stop playing ant farm with
you
her.
are his adopted guardian, but goddamn it, his mom ain't dead. And you got to understand that shit. And if he wants to reach out to his mother, listen, protect him the best that you can, facilitate it, make it work. But you don't cut anybody off like that. That's not right. And ma'am, if you think I'm lying, see this Facebook post or whatever type of post this is on our screen right here, where you say, asking for your help, our middle son Antonio ran away from you because you wouldn't allow him to see his mother. And now he's missing. And even though you think that I'm sounding like somebody that's bitter, look at your fruit. You reap what you sow. Now we don't know where he at.
Yep.
All because you are being extra.
Playing ant farm.
You can't do that shit.
Before she called me and told me, before this, it was like my son's birthday. My son's birthday is in March. And me talking to her for 8-9 months straight, I asked her, I said, hey, can you have my son call me? This is in March, but around the Passover.
Right.
And I say, hey, can you have my son call me? She's like, yeah, I don't think that, but right now is a good time. His therapist, let me get my messages.
Wow.
Can you have my phone and turn my phone on?
Hey, y'all, we're going to take one quick break. We're going to read the messages from the
we
therapist
wanna
real quick. We're getting into it right now, man. Hey, we want to invite everybody to like, subscribe, ring the bell notification. Go to our YouTube page, which is Legendary People Podcast on YouTube. like, subscribe, ring the bell notification. We have interviewed all type of people. We have great interviews like this all the time, and you can see them all on our YouTube page. We want to take a second to give a shout out to our sponsors, which is Shiekhs. We got the best breakfast in the city. Sheikhs got the best breakfast in the city. We Agnes All Natural Grill for lunch. If you ever injured in any type of accident, call attorney Michael Wright at 937-222-7477. Make the right choice, Michael Wright. And if you ever want to get little bit, call drink some Kiara Wine, man. My bad, y'all. I'm a little thrown off right now. And then shoparea.com. We t-shirt kings 247.com. And we will be right back. We're going to answer that call right after this quick minute break. Give her a second to get herself together, and then we're going to be right here, you guys. All right. Do not go nowhere, for real. Every time I come in the press room, you in the press room. Working on our Stars Hot-Tronic heat press. Using all the vinyl. Making all the picture tees. I like vinyl.
I'm about to just load these boxes up. I'm out your way.
Man, you gotta be a crazy little brother to get fired on your day off. What you get caught stealing boxes for?
Man, I didn't get caught stealing no boxes. He said he caught me though.
We get our rent paid.
Why don't you go in there and ask the girls real fast to see if they help us pay our rent?
That don't sound like a bad plan at all.
What's up, Pops?
What's up, Smokey?
I'm trying to set up a meeting with the girls, man.
Okay.
Y'all wanna help me and Craig pay our rent?
Craig still owe me money from the last time he got me. He gotta learn a lesson. He shouldn't be stealing. Go ask him to tell that girl from last night to give him some money.
What they said? They said it's slow for real. I'm about to just ask boss when we get our job that night.
Of course you can.
Yeah! It's on you.
Yeah, so we're back, man. Like, thank you to everybody that's been commenting, everybody that's went on to our YouTube page. Please go to our YouTube page to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's called the Legendary People Podcast. We pop them on every single search engine, man. We are knee deep in this story where we're literally trying to get to the actual missing situation. So right now we're building up to that point, and we're talking about literally his birthday, and his mom finally has contact with the adopted parent of her son, and she's literally now trying to be with her son or speak with her son just for his birthday. What happens next?
His birthday's the 11th, so I have reached out the beginning of March. Hey, could you have my son call me? I wanted to see if what he wanted for his birthday. You know, I had told her around Christmas time I wanted to get him a chain for his birthday. She told me she did not want him to have a chain because it would teach him how to be too materialistic. And they're teaching him how to not focus on those kind of things and how not to want those things and feel like those things are necessities. I understand what you're saying, but y'all don't even give him anything to feel like he has anything to just be like, well, that kind of stuff doesn't even matter. You know, so I really didn't see a problem with him having a chain, but all the little white boys in the school have changed, and he can't have nothing of his own.
Would you like to answer a question right now, or you want to wait?
We can answer a question.
Sorry, I mean, if you call in.
Right, say something.
Yep, call right back, you guys. Whoever, we tried to answer it, y'all hung up.
I'll take the phone number again for
Fix that cricket, 991-0025, man. Fix your little dumb old cricket phone, man. I'm just playing with you guys. I know you got Sprint, man.
Yeah. So, man, really, he gonna say it right now. So, you were in the midst of trying to get him a chain for his birthday. What happens next after they deny you that?
Well, that was for Christmas, so by the time of his birthday, I didn't want to give her ideas of because I don't want you to tell me what to do. Right. What I can do and what I can't do for my son.
You already put a filler out there, got to deny. You saying, okay, I want to give my son something, and then...
Yeah, I just want to hear from him. Okay. So she was like, yeah, I don't think he's ready for that yet. His therapist does not feel like he's ready for that yet, so that's not going to happen. As his mom, I have to protect him. I said, as the ruler and creator of his life and soul, his best interest is always at heart. There's no way that you could ever even think to tell me that his best interest my son's best interest is at heart to you if you don't even want me to help you with my son.
Right.
You know, let alone be a part of my son's life, which is beneficial to his growth.
Yes.
I talked to my son a couple of weeks ago, and he said, Mom, I haven't been in therapy since 6th grade.
So is this through text messages? Is this through Instagram?
Yes, I'm about to get to it as soon as this bitch ass phone load up.
Damn. Is this any of the
she
stuff
was
that you
lying.
sent to me?
No,
Okay.
but I can send them to you. Why?
No. It's okay.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah, I want to post them.
Yeah, we can
This
post
ain't
it
the
up.
same phone for the messages from her, but these is the messages from my son.
Yeah.
Because he has been sneaking just for maybe the past.
I just say.
He's been sneaking to speak to me at every time he's sneaking to speak to me.
So yeah, so
They can't see what this is on their
Okay.
screen right now. What's this?
what is this picture right here? Excuse me. Like, what is it?
That is my 16-year-old.
Oh, okay,
That's your
wow.
16? Okay.
She's beautiful.
Thank you.
So she's in the midst of trying to accumulate the messages from off
Protect her.
of the messages of her corresponding with her son. So just bear with me for a second. But
He made a new Instagram. The first time I talked to him was January 21st at 6:31. This was me messaging him, and she seen the messages and called me
right.
and told me this is all before his birthday.
What was the conversation that you had with your son, or like the tone
I never
of
got a
it?
response.
So when
until
you,
October 29th of this year.
so did you find him on Instagram or he found you?
She told me he had an Instagram.
These videos. Who are these videos of right here?
Those were the ones for I just sent those just in case, like just to show like a spiritual thing. Like it was more spiritual.
Is this you?
Yes.
Okay.
She once she seen me say, "Hello, my son. It is your mother. You are always more than welcome to message me on here or call me." I gave her the same phone number I have now. Well, him the same phone number I have now. I said to tell your mother. I said, as far as his adopted mom, tell her I said hello. So I messaged him again. My son, I am just receiving your letter and I am smiling from ear to ear. And for all of you, I am not getting married anytime soon, because he asked me if I was getting married and stuff like that. I said, I am working on my career and opening up my business. I wanted to buy gifts for you and Antonia and Melody, but Melody's parents would not let me get anything for her or Antonia. They won't let me contact them. I don't apologize to them. I do apologize for not being able to be in touch with you for Christmas. My school schedule and my business schedule has been outrageous, but please know I didn't tell him that she had told me. Like I was supposed to meet with her on the 23rd to give her the gifts. Me and my ex-husband, we were going to go shopping together, but she played us. She spent us.
So, what was the content of the letter that your son sent you? What were some things he expressed to you? What were some things he said to you? Did you type some type of timeline? What were things that he gave you in the letter?
The letter was very short. You could tell it was a monitored letter. He asked me, was I in a relationship? How was Nugget? He told me he was like 6'1", 6'2" at the time. And at the end of the message, he was just like, I melt for you, Mom.
Okay.
You know, and that was
How did it feel hearing that, knowing that you haven't seen or talked to him, you reading that letter?
It made me feel good. I was like, my son still melts for me the same way. Like, when I used to walk through the door after work, my son would be like, Mama! Like, he just melt right into his mama's arms.
Mama's boy.
He's definitely a mama's boy. He couldn't take it. And like, even with Antonia, she couldn't take it. I couldn't walk in another room without her being like, where's my mama? You know?
Okay, so is this you corresponding with your son?
My son corresponding with me.
So you guys have video?
No, as you see right here, with Instagram, whenever after it rings for a minute, it'll put your video. It'll put your video. So that's why it says 8:40 to 8:41. It says miss video.
Okay.
Video chat was when he called, period, because it puts your camera on already, like if you on FaceTime. That's the difference between Instagram. So I never spoke with him. That's why these are so back to back. And that's why the times are so close, 8:40 and 8:41.
So at this message here where he says, long story short, they found that phone and they hurt me to get it. What did you take that as, and how do you feel reading that message as a mother when you first originally saw that message?
When I seen that, it shocked me because that's not my son's. That's not this Instagram right here. So I was just like, this is my son saying this? And he's messaging me from another person's page? And now the person's page is to where I can't message them back. I just seen the message and screenshotted it. That's a screenshot because the page was completely gone. It disappeared. Mm-hmm. So when I seen that and I seen the address, take that address down.
It's not on the screen.
Oh, okay. And I seen the address. I was like, well, where is that at? I don't know where this is. Right. So I made the post. I posted about it. At this time, my son had already been missing for about 2-3 days. She hadn't contacted me. Nobody, the police still have not contacted me.
So this correspondence is during the time he's missing. It's when you get these messages. Okay.
Along with the pictures.
Okay.
So
2018, they said that they adopted your son in 2018.
Who adopted my son in 2018? Those people? Okay, yeah. What is this, 21? So they've had him for 3 years.
Since he was 11.
Okay, wow. So the last thing he says to you here is, I gotta go, I will talk to you later, love you. Is that the last message that you got from your son?
Yes.
Would you ever come and get me? I could tell you the address. Wow.
So he don't know whether I would.
How long ago was these messages sent to you?
He sent these on Monday, the 6th, but I didn't get them until Thursday after 6.
December?
The 6th of December.
So these are like recent messages right now?
These were the last messages that we had.
Yeah, because he got missing December 8th is when he came up missing.
But so he has in fact been missing since the 6th, since this message here.
Oh, wow.
So he's trying to get away?
He's trying to get away. Like he said, they hurt me to get my phone. He had told me, he just recently, I never heard back from my son. The first time I messaged my son was because she told me my son had an Instagram. Mm-hmm. So when I seen the Instagram, I messaged him on January 21st of this year. I did not hear from my son until October 29th of this year. I responded a couple of hours, about 3.5 hours, 3 hours and 10 minutes later. Hi, son. Sorry for the late response. How was school today? And how did basketball season turn out for you? I am so happy to hear from you. I knew you would come. I've been waiting for a response.
Yeah.
Because she told me off rip, I seen the messages. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
But also, he messaged you some pictures, right? So it was scrapes and bruises on him?
It looks, I don't know if it's burns or scrapes. I won't know what happened until I talk to my son.
So, like, what was the context of when he sent the photo? Did he say they took the phone from me and
after those calls, it was just that.
Well, he showed this. Let's see this.
It was just that.
But just based off the picture, if they got him when he was 11, that looks younger than 11 to me.
That don't look no younger than 11. My son is 6'4", but he still looks like a kid in the face.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how I was. I was tall, and
I mean, when did he send you these pictures?
I got it all. He sent them on Monday, but I didn't open up the messages because it wasn't his message.
He's sending you these pictures saying
his Instagram.
So do the police know about this?
They
him
know
missing?
from watching my page.
Do the police know about him missing?
Yes.
The police know about him missing.
She called him I literally watched the live where she called the cops and waited 2 hours and they never showed up.
Right. Okay. But
yesterday I tried to make a police report.
And
they never called me back.
We got your son sent you these pictures. Yeah. In what context did he send you these pictures? Did he say anything in the messages?
All he said was that. He said, I got to go. I love you. And that was it. And under that, it said photo sent, photo sent, photo sent. So on Instagram, the pictures don't just pop up because I would have been through. You have to push the button, push the bubble, and I was like, oh, like, where is my son? What have they done with my son? Why haven't they contacted me at all? She gonna tell the detectives that they don't have a way, and even if she said it on the flyer, family, we know he has family in Dayton, but whereabouts unknown. You had my son sending me letters. You know my address. I don't know your address.
So, all right. What are the police? What are the police doing right now? Because
I have no idea.
we got he ran away. He has clear evidence that's saying that they are abusing him. Is it possible that they could have hurt him in some type of way? I'm asking
That's
this.
how I feel.
There's something else going on.
Are they under investigation?
I still have not made a police report about this. They have not allowed me to make a police report about this. I talked to listen. Children's Services never reached out to me. They reached out to my ex-husband. The police department never reached out to me. When I found out that they even had, when I started making posts about my son, someone seen that she had put something in Struggling in Dayton. So they said
Struggling in Dayton, what's that?
It's a group for people that's struggling in Dayton that need resources and help and stuff for their kids or rags and stuff like that. And I go in there and help people all the time. So I was a part of that group, but I never seen it. You know, it doesn't just pop up on my timeline. So when somebody told me, they was like, this white lady posted your son is struggling in Dayton. And I was like, send me what you got. So when I seen that, that's when I found out my son's name had been changed. Like, y'all would change his name to turn around and treat him like trash? That's how you would treat your own?
What did she post in there? Was it him missing?
It was that flyer with all those pictures and her saying that the whereabouts of my son's family is unknown. When you have my phone number, you have my address.
Has the mother reached out to you?
Not at all.
She hasn't reached out to you to see if your son contacted you or not?
Not at all. Nobody has reached out. Police haven't reached out to me. Children's Services haven't reached out to me. I've reached out to her. I've reached out to Children's Services. I've reached out to them.
And what are they? And what are they doing?
I know nothing.
What about
when I called them this Monday, after waiting for them, I've been waiting for them to come in my house. I've been waiting to talk to them to give me some type of justification. They want to basically get me to tell them what I know, and then y'all can't tell me nothing about my son.
Did you show them the messages from your son saying that he had been abused?
I still have not gotten a return call. They had me. I looked at my messenger after making all these files, these posts about my son and stuff like that. I just happened to be on my laptop and I seen I had a message request. It was somebody from Logan County. So I immediately called them. Also, there was some type of link or something about my son missing. So I say, I'm going to call them in the morning. I've been in and out of hospital stressing and everything else because of this situation with my son. Like, even right now, I don't feel good, but I'm here for my son.
right?
When I reached out to them on Monday, I told him I wanted to make a police report then. He was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. You know, our first priority is your son. Okay, well, I want to make a police report. I never got to make a police report. So then I'm told again, you need to make a police, well, I felt condemned to make a police report after I get a message day before yesterday stating that my son was going to be at
the library. So like somebody contacted your grandmother. What was it?
I made a post with my grandmother's information on it and my information because I don't know if somebody told me West Liberty was towards Cincinnati. Somebody told me West Liberty was towards Columbus. When I looked it up, the West Liberty for this address right here, for that address, was towards Columbus. So if you're in the Columbus area, son, you have family all through Columbus. Call your grandmother so we can locate you and come and get you. You know.
All right. So when he's sending you this message right here, that's on the screen, you didn't get the message till a couple of days later.
Exactly.
Because he wasn't even sending the message to you from his page, which was earlier in the chat.
Yeah. So like on Instagram for everybody,
it's like a message request.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like that, but like they have.
But you get a lot of way more spam.
Well, yeah.
Instagram.
It'll be primary or the other.
General.
General.
Right.
So
That line
I didn't realize it, and because
you didn't expect him to be missing, not like you're gonna be searching for messages from
exactly.
people. Okay. So
and some of the stuff that I'm seeing here, man, it's like, damn. It just seems like with all of this evidence mounting, he has officially ran away.
And ain't nobody in jail?
Nobody is in jail like you were in jail or going through a prosecution or having the child removed or child protective services. And nobody has reached out to you to see if your son made his way to his mother.
But they made sure when I made that post about the library that they called Dayton police to have them go apprehend my son. The devil was a lie.
So all I'm saying is, like, your son is missing. He said that he's being abused in several messages, and the people who he is saying abused them are not in police custody. We don't know if they have interviewed the people or not, but it just seems like, damn. I mean, she's making posts on Facebook saying, "Help me find my son. He ran away." Why is it an automatic assumption that he ran away and something else didn't happen? Like, why is she saying?
My ex-husband that they told him.
Is it just a foul play? What you trying to say? Like,
well, how do we know that some foul play hasn't taken place? I mean, for you to say my son ran away, you're automatically assuming that somebody didn't come and take him. And it seems like the parent thing to think first is that,
let me call his mom.
Well, the parent thing to think is, I hope didn't anybody do anything to my son and he's missing. But to just automatically say he ran away means that he may have been unhappy. You knew he was unhappy, and a runaway was probably imminent. And so, you see, it's kind of like, well, all right, why was he unhappy in this household? And now we're getting, you feel me?
But I want to also ask about the messages to the grandmother. So are you surmising that was a prank phone call?
Well, when I talked to my grandmother last night, she was very adamant that was not a prank. She said that was my grandson.
What did he say to your grandmother?
I'll read to you what she said.
Well, I gotta remember.
Let me read. I
remember him kind of saying, "My mom knows where to find me. I'm here." And then I think it was a response later saying,
"I don't know where he's at."
Exactly. And then it turned into, "Meet me at the library." And then the
Dayton Public Library. There's a lot of Dayton Public Libraries. So I went to the one closest to my house.
Okay.
Because I know I've given him my address before, so I just went to, I don't know which one it was at. But for Logan County, it was funny because I meant to, like, bubble out Dayton Public Library. You still can't tell which library my son was at.
Well, we got somebody on here, and this is Rada Sloan. It said that text was fake as fuck. You text yourself from another number. Who saves a number on their phone? My grandmother. What is they talking about then? I mean,
from the screenshot, it says my grandmother, and then you see the messages.
It has my grandmother's phone number on there. What do you mean?
I didn't see the phone number, but it didn't.
I scratched it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is
so I'm gonna go all the way to Columbus.
I won't respond to that.
And I'm damn near dead.
Chill.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And
I said I won't respond to that. My mother.
Man, smack yourself.
So this some overzealous attention sinking shit, and she gone.
I'm not gonna read her message.
Ride this lie to the wheels fall off. Shit
wait,
too
man,
funny.
I want to respond to the person who commented, and I'm telling you with my own judgment. Scrolling up, this is a conversation between her and her mother for multiple months and multiple time here. I've just scrolled up. I'm going to confirm it, not showing her messages. This is a contact between her and her mother. Grandmother.
And that's not the only message that's
no,
in that
hell no, man.
These messages. So Rada Sloan,
smack yourself.
They have a timeline of messages going back, way back, where she wouldn't just create this situation.
We in September, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we all the way back. You know what
yeah, so it's going way back. It's not a fake. It's not a fake account. You know, and,
I'm not a
and
liar.
none of that other
I don't
stuff.
lie.
So that we did debunk what you just thought, right?
Rod is the one who probably made a prank call to the place.
With all due respect, you know.
So, like, do you really feel that was a prank call, or do you feel like that really was your son reaching out?
After hearing talking to my grandmother, let me call my grandmother. Ha!
From the same phone number and that same text message that you just said was fraudulent.
Well, let's see. Yeah, this is going to debunk what you said. She's calling that number with the screenshotted number, still everything the same, you guys.
Hello?
Hi, Nana. It's Lynn.
Hey, babe.
Hey, Nana. Have you heard from my son at all?
Not at all. Not since I heard from him when I contacted you. That's the only time that I've heard from him.
Okay, Nana. You're being recorded on a conversation. I'm on live television right now. As I had told you, I had thought that was a prank caller. And I just told the whole world that my grandmother thought it is very adamant that was her great-grandson. And I wanted to see if you could answer some questions, because we were trying to get to the bottom of this, and we were on live television trying to find my son. Mm-hmm. And I would...
The only thing that I will say, and because I don't know what y'all doing or anything, the only thing that I am going to say is I believe that was my great-grandson that I talked to. I really do believe that. And that's about all that I'm going to say.
Thank you, Grandma.
Thank you so much for confirming that for us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Queen.
Rada Sloan said, I stand corrected 100%, and then actually put a heart up. So, I mean,
thank you, Nana.
appreciate
I'll call
that.
you back tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
I mean, that was pretty good, man. I mean, Peanut, that was great work by you right there. You feel me? Monique, salute to you for at least being able to shut that little dumb shit down.
Yes.
I've been shutting it down for years, but you know, one thing that grinds my gears is being called a liar.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've been being called a liar about the things that I would never even want to talk about, let alone lie about it. Like, who wants to lie about these things? Right. My son is missing. Period.
So let's talk to Antonio right now, because this video is actually live. It's live. But it will get a bunch of shares. Everybody in the comment section, please. Everybody,
share it live right now.
Man, go and share this video, you guys. So, man, we can get this motherfucker a whole lot of shares, and then Antonio can see this video, man, and reach out to your mom, because we don't think that you ran away, bro. I actually think you could be hurt somewhere. And just to ease all of our mind, man, make a private call and just say, you know, hey, you guys, I'm okay. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to go next. But we just want to make sure that you're all right, little bro, because it ain't to just be assumed that you ran away and then let that be the end all be all of this story, you know. And even if you did have to run away, you ran away for whatever reason. But we do want to make sure that you're in a safe place, because you're just a 14-year-old kid, man. Despite how tall you are, you're still just a kid.
Yes.
You know, and it's easy to manipulate kids, and it's all kind of terrible things out here in this world. So we just want to make sure that you're all right, you know? Yeah. Call your parents, man. Call us, man. Call your mom. Reach out to her on Instagram. Call your sister. Call your grandmother again. You know, and
hold on. There's a comment.
Let's get it going, man.
I don't make a comment. What's my made a comment at?
This is DeAndrea cutting up Adam. She said it seems like she may have to go through the courts and push for her to at least get her parental rights back, to where she can make certain decisions to better his situation if he is in danger or anything. Mm-hmm. And she's very right. Because my son is not in children's services, I have the right to take custody. That's just like you and your baby's mother have a dispute. And you say, okay, I'm about to go get my son out of this situation, or you see your son or your daughter is in that situation, you have that right. This is personal. Children's services can't be involved in that. Nothing. If you and your baby mama, you take your baby mama to court, your baby mama take you to court, that's between y'all and the courts, not children's services. That would be the situation now at this point, and I just found that out. And I have that right because I can prove that he has been in some type of danger. There is some type of abuse or whatever, and I just found that out. But I have been waiting for this police report to have paperwork and documentation to follow up these allegations. I have made my police report, and they are preventing me to get this police report.
Wow.
You made a police report, but now you need a copy of it.
I don't even know if I made an actual police report other than I told them
Calling,
everything,
yeah.
other than calling, but I don't consider that as a formal police report. With no police number, because if I call to go call on you right now, they're gonna give me a card with a number with a stamp and everything.
Wherever your son is missing from, can you go to that county and then file some type of police report?
I tried to do that yesterday.
And what happened?
What happened?
Basically, I'm waiting for a call back. They said I have to speak to a certain deputy to do that. So I called them. They never
over
called
a
me
missing
back.
child.
Exactly. I called them back again today. They said they would have a deputy call me back within 15 or 20 minutes. And I called them. I have a whole log right here of everybody that I've called, everybody who I've never gotten a return call from, everything that I've tried to do.
So
I called them at 11:40.
So like the question I want to ask is, what do you think happened to your son? Like, where do you think your son would be at right now? Like,
I don't know, because I barely have contact. I don't know how my son moves. I don't know who his friends are, because she's already been preventing me to be able to build that relationship to know anything. He gets in trouble for speaking to me.
So when he messaged grandma and said, "Mom knows where I will be at," what would you feel he meant by that?
I would think the church that we used to go to. That's what I would think, because we don't have any. We haven't had it. Like, you can look through my Instagram and that shit is short.
Okay.
Our messages are short and just straight to the point.
Do you feel that there's some type of tampering going on? Because I mean, like,
it's gotta be. How is it that I can't make a police report?
Well, like, through your
Over
research, you
crime.
actually found out who the person possibly is. Who is the person, and what do you think the person who's supposed to be the disciplinarian, the person who hurt your child? Who do you think hurt your child?
I believe the father hurt my child.
And who is the father? Just for reference.
The foster father. His name is she's Ryan. He's Randy. They both kind of got those names that can go either way. He's Randy Foley. He is the supervisor. What is he? The supervisor of security at the Supreme Court. If you want to put his picture up there.
So you feel that his political influence is what's suppressing a lot of you getting a chance to get some actual justice or some type of recourse? Because through my research, I found one person that he was linked with that is a big deal, which is, let me make sure I pull it up here so I make sure I'm saying the wrong name.
Okay, so DeAndre said, who knows what they have said? He might be trying to run from them both. If he was trying to run from us both, he wouldn't have been trying to get me to come and get him and dropping locations. Y'all speculating a little too much now. Like, that don't even add up.
Yeah, so I saw one business that
and he
reposted.
wouldn't have reached out to my grandmother, because to me, I feel like he's somewhere closer to Columbus than to Dayton. But then again, but who knows if that was a prank call, or somebody could have told a little kid to say that, and then my grandma not knowing what my son's voice sound like, and she just hear a kid's voice and hope that, it's my grandson. Her grandson. So, no. It's a lot of, I don't think it has anything to do with he's being scared of me.
Well, I see a message here from Preferred Chiropractic. They say, urgent. Please keep an eye out for this missing child. He belongs to someone we love. His name is Antonio Foley, and he's been missing about a week. He's 14 years old and very tall with braces. If you have any information or see him, please take a picture of him and call the Logan County Sheriff Department at 937-592-5731. What would you like people to do if they come in contact with your son, what would you
to
like?
Contact me, not the authorities. Contact me so I can find out what's going on with my son.
So
and
you're
have
gonna
a
hit your
home.
Facebook. Oh. See what we got here.
Anybody with questions or comments, please call the show 937-991-0025.
Where you calling from?
This is Kilo.
Kilo.
What's up with you?
That was good, bro.
What's up, Lo?
How you feeling, man?
Man, come on, man. Everything golden, bro.
There you go. Alright, yeah, I just got a question.
Okay, go ahead and ask away, bro.
Okay, so my question is, has anybody, why haven't the police put this all together? I mean, because if the family is saying one thing, the foster family is saying one thing, like they reporting that the child is missing, but she got proof right there that it's abuse.
Yes.
Coming from the child, even if even if they can't prove that it came from him, it's enough to start an investigation.
Yes.
Family. I think that's the number one priority of the police. And I'm not sure how the police could get pressed into getting that started, but I think that's
more important.
We should start it.
Yes.
I mean, let's find out about that abuse, because if he's trying to get away from abuse, then let's get to the foundation of what's going on, as opposed to trying to just pick the child up because the parents are saying this. If there's other stuff that's involved, as far as especially like solid proof like that, it definitely needs to start looking at the foster parents, if you ask me.
I agree. Okay.
Thank you, Keila.
Man, thanks,
Okay,
bro.
Rada had a question. He said, no disrespect, but your son was in adopted custody. So how would you have the right to get your son out of a bad situation? He wasn't in your custody for whatever reason. You can't take the police report because you're not the legal custodian. Right. Wrong. That's not right at all. Because as a legal citizen, anybody has the right to report a crime. And clearly there's a...
Commented on the live video.
Put her on hold real quick.
One second, love. One second.
Hold on, D.
1 second. Go ahead.
Okay, that's wrong. Any citizen has the right to report a crime. So if I see any child being abused, whether it's my child or or there's marks like this, as mandated reporters, as a nurse, I'm a mandated reporter, let alone a person seeing marks on a child and they're not a mandated reporter. You have the right to make a police report. That's one. And then for two, considering this is not in children's services, they are adopted out. That's just like if your baby mama or you try to go hit your baby mama up with some court documents and say, bitch, you been having my son getting over here being abused and stuff. I'm going down to the courts and I'm getting emergency custody. That emergency custody is coming straight to you because you have that right, no matter if it's about the safety of the child. So figure out, all you have to do is go downtown or call downtown and ask what an emergency removal is, an emergency ex parte motion, and all you have to do is file that. There's other mothers, and the only reason why I found this out is because of this situation with another mother coming to me who also lost her kids, and her kids were in more of an abusive situation than my son. They didn't just have little marks like this on them. They were going through some stuff in this foster system. They were going through way worse, and she found out. She had proof. She filed that motion. She got all her kids back. So there's nothing too hard. We just got to figure out what we got to do, and it takes situations like this.
There we go. So, caller, your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Deandra, and I'm in Dayton. But what I was saying on the post was, when kids are in situations like that, when they have guardians over them, they getting adopted out. I'm speaking from personal experience. There are different people around who will let you know things about your parent, things that your parent cannot verify or deny. They're
Facts.
not around to know the accusations that are being said. So therefore, that's why I said there's no telling what has been told to him about her as to why he's not going around her at this current moment. Because if he contacted
I feel like he's trying to protect me.
Obviously, at some point, he felt like she was his safe haven. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So if he's not coming around her, and there's been some type of information that has been placed somewhere to where he's not feeling safe enough to be with her or the adopted parent.
Wow.
I don't want to say safe. I don't want to say, but he doesn't feel like he's safe. I don't feel like he thinks that I'm safe.
See, when you say the word safe refers to being mentally safe, emotionally safe, you say the word safe.
Yes.
And it seems like the only place he hasn't been safe is with them. Because he ain't have none of those marks. Ain't none of my kids had no marks and no shit like that. When we just went through this situation, it wasn't no abuse allegations or nothing like that. I feel as if, just like with my daughter, whenever they're trying to protect me, they'll fall back and disappear. Or that's if we even know if he's alive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We could be doing all these speculations. Well, he might not be wanting to be over there because, he feel like it might not be safe, or, it's a iffy situation when my son could be actually dead right now. And while everybody's trying to figure it out. That's not the common denominator of the issue. The common denominator is, where is my son, and how come justice hasn't been served in any way for my son? And how is it that there can't be a police report because when I'm still a citizen and have proof of what happened to my son? Right. That's the focus.
One thing that I do want to mention is, we talking about a 14-year-old kid, been missing for 11 days. He's 14 with no resources. None. Where could he be hiding at? Where could he be ran away to for 14 days and nobody can find him?
Listen, it'd be easy to find him in Logan County. He's 6'4" black male. He's one of the only black kids at his school. How can you not spot somebody 6'4"?
Yeah, and where is like the backtracking of just the different people that he's been around? Like, we should have been able to find him by now.
Yes.
And it seemed like we could have had all kind of search parties, all type of missing, like crazy shit all over the news, man. Like, when other people go missing, there is a big to do. And I'm sure that there's a bunch of kids missing all over, but like, we should be in an uproar trying to find this kid who has been going through abuse. We got all of these text messages, and he's sending pictures of scars and marks and saying, please come get me. They hurt me to take my phone. Now he's missing. He's saying, I gotta go. Man, who's to say that he ran away? They caught up with him and then hurt him again for trying to get away from him. So all I'm saying is, I think that we need more police activity.
Absolutely.
We definitely need search parties, and we need all these missing people agencies to please come forth and help us find Antonio.
Please.
Like, please help us find Antonio. Antonio, if you watching this, bro, call somebody.
Yes.
Or help. We gotta find you, bro.
Yes.
We have to find this young man because he's 6'4" in Logan County, a 14-year-old black kid.
Oh my God.
Missing for 11 days. We getting into a worried situation here. Like, this ain't about her getting her kids taken away no more. Like, we done got that story. We just told that as a backstory so you could find out where he went missing from. Yeah. But now this whole focus is on one thing and one thing only. Finding Antonio. Finding Antonio. Finding Antonio. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all.
And you done ran away. They're going to take you right back to where you was getting abused.
Yes.
But like he said in the screenshot, he literally said in the screenshot, they took my phone. He don't have no phone.
Right.
He called my grandma block.
We got to find Antonio. Everybody share this post. Make this shit go viral like it's supposed to so we can find Antonio. This ain't no ploy for this page to go viral. None of that shit. Like, I'm being 100, bro. We got to find this young man. Right. Man, in every which way, we need to be shaking every bush out here, bro. We got to find this young bro, man. Where he at, man?
Where you calling from?
I'm Drake. This is Drake, man.
What's up, Drake?
What's good, Drake?
What's going on? My question is, I work at a facility exactly like for teen boys. My question is, why aren't we calling the news right now?
I called them. I called them too. I done called everybody.
We should be calling the police right now.
Right.
And I done, honey.
Right. Exactly, bro. You are 1,000,000% right.
No, for real.
Like, it need to be damn near. Everybody on this live should be calling the police and demanding the search parties to be out looking for this young kid.
Yes, absolutely. There you go.
He is 14 years old. 14 years old.
14,
we assume that this little bro is ran away and been able to survive 14 days on the streets without no shelter, nobody.
how they be joining hands and having search parties. We should have been on this.
Yeah, you right. You are 100% right, bro. You 1,000,000%.
Fuck talking about it though, bro.
Well, hold on. Let me tell you something. I found out about this today. I hooked up all the cameras in my studio to raise awareness about this situation, to find passionate people like you to join us and help us. So we're doing exactly what you're talking about right now, bro.
I've been trying to make a police report since last week.
Like check this out. I had 2 clients run away like last Saturday. We called the police and they were gone for like 3 days. However, through the years, clients been running away. But what they do is go over their best friend's house, kick it because his birthday was like last week, and then they come up, call at a random place, man. Like he could be somewhere that we know he at, but he ain't saying nothing.
Right.
Well, we definitely need to find him, bro.
Like, yeah. So, man, bro, we appreciate you calling in, man. Keep that passion up, man. And please, make sure, like somebody, you reshare that. And you also call the police as well, because we're going to do our due diligence. At least at one point of this show, we will make a phone call ourselves here.
And we're going to be waiting.
So, thank you, man. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Rada Sloan said, I'm just confused. My child missing for 11 days. I will be in complete dismay. Baby, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know how I'm keeping my composure to be on this. You doing a little too much for me.
Right,
and then
man.
he says,
right.
He was like, I would have thought my young man was kidnapped by now. Listen here. There's certain things you can't say because they will turn around and incriminate you. I could turn around and say the wrong thing. Well, why would you say that? Or why would you speculate that? When I don't know where my son is either. Add it up. Makes sense.
Right, man.
Shut the fuck up.
And you know, like, man, Rada, it's a certain point where it becomes trolling. Like, bro, instead of us trying to figure out whether she is a good mother or not, man, who gives a fuck? We trying to find Antonio right now, bro. Mm-hmm. Share the post, my nigga. That's all that we gotta do, man. For whoever, man, we ain't trying to figure out whether she a good or bad person. There is a bigger arching theme that we trying to do is to raise awareness, shake every bush, take his pictures, post them, and share to find a young bro. That's what we trying to do. Like Dre said, man, we trying to call the police. We trying to make them respond to what's going on, man.
Live television ain't about to help the story get out to try to find.
That's all we trying to do.
Clown.
Legendary People Podcast. State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, it's just Jay Hines. I'm out of Birmingham, Alabama.
What's good, Jay Hines?
JJ.
Dayton, Ohio.
Okay, word.
Yes, sir.
Zach Smith, my boy.
Hey.
Yeah, all day. That's
what
my brother.
Do in my world is I'm a bail bond. I track down from the worst criminals to this situation right here. I done made 3 calls already to people that's in that area.
Here we go,
that I deal with that do bail bonds. We track people down for a living. Mm-hmm. Now, the truth gonna come out if they gotta find this dude. This is a kid. There's only so many places.
It don't seem like they trying.
Hold on.
He can't get to a whole room. He can't do this. He can't do that.
Yeah.
Those folks, the way they move, it's being tracked right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping the kid is all right. Okay, that's my main situation. I just looked at this and I'm like, man, this don't make no sense.
Right.
It ain't making no sense. And I
So
said,
no return call, no return calls, no nothing.
Other people in other parties' part. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
My focus is on this child right now.
Right, bro.
So somebody gonna answer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm just calling to say, I promise you, somebody gonna answer for this, and I hope he okay.
Yes.
Man.
If he's out there just doing, whatever he does and thinking this is a game and a joke, bro, you about to get found.
There you
I
go.
promise you that. We do that. We get paid to do that, and this is free of charge.
Oh.
Just doing it out of the fact that that's what I do. You see what I'm saying? But I'm looking at it. So if I'm looking at this young queen, and sweetie, I hope, you know what I'm saying? I know you've been through whatever you've been through and all that. I still have to question. I question myself, how do you even end up with your child? But at the end of the day, after the
look at the podcast. Go look on my page.
I know if he's in situations that he's in an area that it's not prominent to black people.
Right.
Now I gotta find this kid.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my thing.
There you go.
Right.
About the
Give him
money,
my
it ain't
phone
about
number.
nothing. It's about focusing on this child right now.
Give him my phone number.
Damn about nobody's emotions.
We gonna inbox it
What
to him.
you
That's my
doing.
bro.
We about to find out what went on.
In Jesus'
Okay,
name.
anybody in that area that did something to this child, you're about to be exposed.
There we go. There we go.
Okay,
man.
now
That's what
DeAndre said another good point.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much, King.
Man, love you, bro.
Love you, bro. Appreciate you, bro. So, I want to ask you one question also. How does Brian Kemp factor into the story?
Brian Kemp factors into the story. Hold on, I'm going to answer that because that's an amazing question. I appreciate that. We didn't get to that part. You know, there was part we were trying to stretch everything out.
Yeah.
So DeAndre said, go to the sergeant, forget about talking to regular ranks. When I found out my son was missing, I was told from legal advisors, I have people that I'm working with outside of SMED and you about my son. Ever since I found out, and then they wanted to say, we think that he escaped with Monique. Why would you use the term escape? First of all, what is he escaping from? What kind of situation is he escaping from to use the term escape? Why haven't they contacted me when y'all know my son has even little contact with me? Because if I'm a suspect, you're going to reach out to the suspect. You're going to question the suspect. Ain't nobody called me at all.
Cooking.
Legendary People Podcast. State your name and where you calling from.
My name is Niecy, and I'm calling from Dayton, Ohio.
Hey, Niecy, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Okay, so go ahead and start your question.
Okay, I just wanted to know when we gonna get the search started, and we need to be around putting posters on library doors, on whoever doors. We need to be putting up.
He ain't been here. He in a whole nother county.
I mean, for him to live in West Liberty, Ohio, I'm sure there's cameras around the neighborhood that he lives in. I mean, the nearest cameras would be in their neighborhood, asking them, can they check their cameras?
Yes.
I mean, we need to help the police do their job to find him. Because like you said, how's a 14-year-old little boy out there, how is he surviving? Like, you know, we don't want it to the point where, they found him, he committed suicide or whatever the case might be.
Yes, these is my thoughts that I'm just not speaking on because I'm trying to keep a positive. There's people whose kids be missing for motherfucking 10, 20 years and they keep a positive mindset like my son is going to return, my child is going to return. And there's and that's what I'm trying to do at this point. But DeAndre had asked, she said, go over their heads and do this. I've called so many people from the time I found out about my son. Right. The last time I spoke to my son was on December 5th. Last time my son made contact with me was December 6th. I got a call from my ex-husband December 9th. December 9th around 8:30 to be exact. Well, that's the time, 8:30, because I checked my call logs to write all this down. I seen my son message me from an anonymous Instagram with pictures. I called Tina Green at, I have her number here. She had no information. She literally was like, I don't know who called your ex-husband and I don't know what's going on. And click, we don't have nothing to discuss.
Right.
My ex-husband gave me a phone number for another children's services worker by the phone number 554-7844. I contacted that number, I left a message, and this was on December 9th. I have yet to receive a phone call from either one of these agencies or workers. And that was 2 different workers on the day that I found out my son was missing. December 10th, I called for help with services and an attorney because my ex-husband told me that I was a suspect for my son. And I also wanted justice after seeing those pictures for my son.
Yes.
December 5th, I contacted Nan, Al Sharpton. I can't put everybody who I contacted right here, so I have to leave that off of here. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put that on there. December 10th, okay, wait a minute, I can't put this stuff right here. December 11th, I made my first post. Monday the 13th, I spoke with another person that is representing me. These little places right here that I don't want everybody to know who I'm working with to find my son and for justice with my son. But I'm working with a lot of people to find my son for justice with my son.
You know, basically, right. I reached out to her for some other stuff and she told me this was going on. I said, oh, hold on, come on the podcast. because I didn't know that any of these things was going on. So what she's trying to tell you is you're hearing about this shit right now, but this ain't the first thing that she's done in order to try to find her son, you guys. This is just another avenue, another lane in order for her to just reach out, raise awareness as to what's going on, you guys. So don't take it like she ain't called nobody, she ain't talked to nobody. She hasn't told us every last thing that she's done here in this little short period of time.
And the good news is that like we're actually getting the people engaged and they're actually out there
for sure.
doing some lead work.
But I don't know if he's even in Dayton. Like we could be putting flyers up here. You know what I'm saying? But my whole thing is between this time, I have never been contacted from the police or children's services. I made contact with them. I didn't know what county he was in. I didn't know what to do. And of course I'm going to be scared when they're, you know what I'm saying? I'd have been through everything under the sun with these children's services motherfuckers. Now y'all trying to put this conspiracy on me. Y'all could be doing this to stop me from not being able to talk to my son. Now I'm locked up.
So you did call the news?
Yeah, the first day.
Call the news.
They said, we'll let you know. Yeah. We have a meeting 2 times a day. We'll let you know if this is a story we want to cover.
Well, I want to cover the timeline that they presented, which to me seems a little obscure.
Who is they, bro?
This is the parents. Well, the adopted parents is the timeline, and I'm doing based off what they said.
All right, what we got?
So they said Wednesday, December 8th, between the hours of 10 p.m. to Thursday the 9th, 6 a.m. is when he came up missing.
Where you get that from?
That is from the actual post that we had up there with the 4 on there. And to me, I asked the question, if I am the parent of a child, how does it take between the hours of 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. to know my child is missing?
Right, because I can hear my son snoring. I can hear him in the house.
And let's just say
in a $300,000 house, you would expect that they probably have a ring camera, anything. Legendary People Podcast. Caller, state your name and where you calling from. Hello? Caller, can you hear me? I try calling back. So to me, I would think that living in that neighborhood, same way as the queen who called in said, there has in a household that is 300 and plus a year, you expect there to be ring cameras on somebody's property adjacent to it, even if they don't have it. Someone next door across the street. Somebody saw him either leave the house or never leave that house.
Yeah. All right. And so what's the next step in their timeline, bro?
So Wednesday, December 8th, between the hours of 10 o'clock p.m. that night, and Thursday, December the 9th at 6 a.m., which is a Thursday. So in between the hours of him going to sleep for school Wednesday and not being there present is what they're trying to surmise. To me, that just seems a little odd.
That he snuck out overnight?
To me, it kind of seems that way. I mean, like the most freedom he'll have will be during the day.
Right.
Like if I were to run away, I would pretend like I'm going to school to have that duration of time. I'm dead at.
What's their last name again?
Folly.
Folly.
Fahle.
Folly. To the Follies, if you guys are watching this for whatever reason, you got alerted that we're doing a live, you could call our show 937-991-0025 so you could actually give some good information to help us find Antonio, because this ain't to condemn you. We don't know you, man. We just gonna take it like you guys got all great motives, man. Shit. Could have been trying to discipline him and now he sending pictures. Whatever, right? Call the show, man, and tell us what the last time you seen him.
Those bruises right there ain't no discipline.
Hey, hold on. But this is what I'm doing. I'm appealing.
Children's services case from hell.
Yeah, but what I'm doing is I am appealing to them to give us a call so we can help find Antonio. Because I ain't trying to make. We want to find Antonio by any means necessary, bro. This ain't even about the condemnation of them, condemnation of you.
Ain't about ego.
None of that shit. We talking about a 14-year-old kid that's the only black kid in an all-white county, mostly, 6'4", lurking around at night.
That spells disaster.
That is a very troubling thought, and it can be a troubling situation. We just seen
Ahmaud
the
Arbery.
Aubrey. That situation rings close to our mind to say, damn, black kid walking down the street late at night in a rich community, rich neighborhood.
Trayvon Martin ain't too far removed.
Man, black kids have been killed for these things.
Yes.
And he's been missing for 11 days.
Yes.
We need news coverage. We need media attention, a lot of it. We need police support. And we need missing children's advocate groups to come through and help us find this young man. Jay Hines said, Dre said that the kids run away and go and hide at friends' house sometimes. Man, if that's what he's doing, then let's shake them bushes, man, and find him. Let's get them cameras
and
up.
Whoever it is, they need to come forward and be witnesses
man,
of
yeah,
what
man,
they know.
Go ahead, man. I mean, even though Antonio might be making a strong appeal to you to say he's afraid he'll get in trouble, man, you ain't gonna get in trouble, bro.
At all.
Man, you are really shit to us and anybody with a good sense of how things are working. We would listen to you and say, damn, son, are you being abused? What's going on? Let's find you the right help. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We only want, everybody is going to help you in this situation, but we don't want you out here hurt somewhere.
Right.
We don't want to feel that way either. I don't want to feel like you're hurt. I don't want to feel like you might be dead. I don't want to have all of these thoughts and these anxieties behind closed doors, son. I don't want to feel like they've done something more to you than what they have.
Yeah,
what they've done is enough. Yeah. I've heard too many stories since you've been gone to think the worst. I don't want to think that way, son. I need to know you're okay. And whatever they did, they're going to pay. Because regardless if it was light or not, I need to know, because that is no justification for those marks from an adopted parent. Because let that be your mother. Let that be another black family. They're going to suffer. So either way, you need to let us know.
Right. So how does Brian Kemp factor into the story? We didn't get a chance to get to that part.
Brian Kemp was my neighbor at the time. And after Reggie was apprehended, I was able to have visitations and stuff like that with my kids at my home and stuff like that. During that time, here comes another fucked up ass friend, associate. She really wasn't even my friend, but she had heard what had happened. And, I was so lost and so traumatized and so broken and just so in disbelief that this man has done this to my child. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was open and receptive to anybody that was calling themselves trying to be there for me and support me, and it really wasn't the right people who support I needed,
right.
Love I needed, who were not the right people I needed to be around. That's why I don't be around people now. She popped up over my house. Oh, Monique, well, I heard what happened, and my kids is over there for the weekend.
Is this LaTonda Brewer?
LaTonda Brewer.
Okay.
Let's talk about this bitch. So, y'all, she's coming over and I'm cooking dinner. Oh, Monique, well, I know what happened and I'm so sorry. I'm here for you and da 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 da. So then the next day around the same time, dinner time, she comes over again. Oh, Monique, well, we're here for you and ha 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 ha. You've been coming over for almost 2 weeks now around dinner time. So I ask her, let me get some of that too. So I ask her, and let me show you, I'm gonna tell the karmatic part about LaTonda Brewer too.
Karmatic. That's a Carmax. Go ahead, my bad.
No, I'm saying because karma is a bitch. Mm-hmm. And karma, okay, y'all. So when it comes to Tonda, so she's like, I'm like, y'all been coming over every day around dinner time. Like, do you not have no food or nothing? Mm-hmm. Because me and my kids need our space. We trying to heal right now, and they only here a certain amount of time.
Right.
So she's like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have no food right now. My food stamp card ain't came. Well, me in the back of my head, like, I need my space, so I'm gonna give you a couple of food stamps. I had 3 kids, so I'm getting like $700, almost $800. I'm gonna give you $250 in food stamps, so y'all can go on about y'all's way. And God bless you. I appreciate your support, but we need our space now, and I'm just gonna look out for y'all, cause we don't miss no meals over Monique Davis' house. Mm-hmm. So now we done been feeding LaTonda, her kids, her brother. You know what I'm saying? Every day, because I'm from the South. I don't believe in eating in front of people and stuff like that. And then y'all coming while I'm cooking and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna feed y'all too. We ain't gonna eat in front of y'all. So I was cooking for them too every day. So now I done gave y'all this $250 and it only take like 7 to 10 days for a card to come and stuff. She done disappeared or whatever. So I call her one day. Now, mind you, this is the first time that me and my kids don't miss meals at the end of the month. Anybody that know me, that's watching this live that know me, they're going to be like, Monique will be cooking lobsters at the end of the meal, steaks and whatever else she want to cook. That's how she eat. I don't just eat Southern foods all the time. I like to, I like to cook different types of varieties. So the end of the month, this month, I'm making dinner for breakfast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, shit was off. So I call her one day. My spirit told me to call her this particular day. I call her, hey, when you get your food stamp card, can you go pick up, I didn't have a car. You know what I'm saying? We already established my baby daddy had ran my truck through a building. So I asked her, I called her, I said, can you go grab some breakfast, when your card come, can you go grab me some breakfast foods and some lunch meat and stuff like that? I have dinner foods, but we need something to spread it out throughout the day. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm feeding them dinner now, they ain't gonna want it later. These is kids. You know what I'm saying? She says, oh no, I'm not about to do that. I'm out shopping for my household right now. I'll just come and pick you up. Like, it would make sense to just grab what you grabbing at the same time. And we live around the corner and just drop that little shit off and I'll go pick up the rest later. You know what I'm saying? Just grab a couple of things for us. She says no, she never comes. So my neighbor, knowing what I had been through prior with my kids and I was about to get my kids back, they were trying to help. Brian was trying to help me and my kids.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's not, I blame Brian too, and he has definitely asked for forgiveness, and I've forgiven a lot of people, because where would my soul be to move forward from everything? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took a lot to forgive a lot of people in this situation. People that don't deserve to be forgiven, but they can go to hell. I'm not. My soul ain't about to be condemned here when I die.
What did they actually do that you felt slighted about?
Who?
Latonda and Brian.
We about to get to know. Brian and Latonda were not in cahoots or anything like that. Okay. It wasn't nothing like that. Okay. So Brian was trying to look out for me until I got in touch with, because like I said, that little flip phone was really fucked up for real. So I was using his phone. I said, can I use your phone? Because she never came. I used his phone. He I'm like, she didn't answer. He was like, well, if she don't show up tomorrow, I'll take you to her house. You know what I'm saying? So we can see, like, when she can get you some food or whatever. Because Brian had 10 kids and had custody of all of them at the time. You know what I'm saying? He had a whole house full of kids. So he taking out of his kids' mouth to look out for me and my kids. Right. And I'm sitting over here just not eating just to make sure my kids have enough. Right. So boom, we go over to her house as soon as I knock on the door. Boom, boom, boom. I wasn't banging, but you know what I'm saying? Knock on the door. There's the door had a window. So she opens up the door and she got her little cord that's in her hand. I'm calling the police.
What?
I didn't know I had a warrant for my arrest because I was, you know what I'm saying? Like, before, like I said, like when Reggie drinking and doing everything, me working 2 jobs, that was only enough for bills and rent. Monique was out here hitting licks, Target, Walmart, the mall, whoever. You know what I'm saying? My kids gonna stay fresh. We're not gonna go without. You know what I'm saying? I was the one out here getting to it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I wasn't, but I never got in trouble for anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if I did, it was just some little misdemeanor type shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody done got their hands dirty with a little boosting or credit card scams. And that's when that shit was big. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I was into that shit. So, I had a warrant for my arrest from when I moved from Fairview to Manhattan. Okay. I had moved from Fairview to Manhattan. I had got in trouble for something, but it wasn't, I don't care now, you know what I'm saying? Well, I can't stay that because the case is over with. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's the only thing on my record. Right. You feel me? They tried to hit me with a robbery, and really, I had switched carts with the girl. We still got away with everything. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I end up still going down because the officer, I didn't know he was an officer, and he was like, my stuff, you have my stuff. I'm like, what stuff do I have? Or what are you talking about? I was like, who got your stuff? He's like, you got my stuff in your car. I'm like, no, I don't. What are you talking about? But really, the girl that I was with, her name was Ashley. We had switched cars throughout the Walmart. So she still got away with all the stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I had her cart with her receipt, with her food and stuff like that. Right. So the officer didn't have nothing on me, but he was adamant about stopping me, and I knew my rights, like, get out of my way. You know what I'm saying? So the officer was shorter than me, and he kept on doing this. And I was like, don't put your hands on me again. Like, watch out. You know what I'm saying? Watch out. So I started getting scared and shit, like, you know, like he acting like he don't want me to get out the door. So I told him, don't put his hands on me. I said it 3 times. There's nothing you can do. I never got a theft charge. I never even got a theft charge. I got an assault for... he was an undercover cop. Oh, wow. But it was like one of those Walmart people or whatever. And I didn't know that he was, you know what I'm saying? You in regular clothes, so leave me the fuck alone. Like, as far as I'm concerned, you can be trying to rob me. That's how I'm trying to play it off. Right. You feel me? So I end up going to jail. I get out a couple, about 2-3 hours later, a couple of hours later. And that was that. Well, they turned around and indicted me and tried to hit me with a robbery, even though I got those charges dropped. I'm like, it wasn't no theft. It wasn't no robbery. I ended up going down for a misdemeanor 1 assault because I did the tiger paw on his ass and I made it out that door. Right. So I didn't know I had that warrant until Latondra policed me. I ended up going to jail for 9 days. I got out the day before Melody's birthday. While I was in there, I wrote a letter to the judge, like, my daughter just got raped. I know, you know, what I did was wrong, but I need to be at home with my kids. The other person who did this to my daughter is in here, so my kids have nobody. I'm not from here, so on and so on. I'm just trying to, you know, provide for my kids. She let me out on house arrest the same day. Right. The judge let me out the same day. The same day, well, Brian had took my kids with him and his kids. Okay. Brian was doing his best to take care of his kids, all of the kids. Right. You know what I'm saying? I give him that. Bishop Calloway from United House of God went to the neighbor because I asked Brian to make contact with my pastor so my pastor could make contact with my family. And Bishop never did that because he had a vendetta with one of my uncles who's another, you know, it was just some stuff going on in the ministry, you know what I'm saying? Wow. In the ministry that they have nothing to do with me or my kids. He goes and tells Brian, well, you don't know what they said. You don't know what these, now mind you, Bishop Calloway was going to go see Reggie in the prison, in the jail this whole time, and this is months. The case was about to be closed.
Reggie is the person who molested your daughter.
Yes, he was going down there to see him and was never coming to check on me and my kids or anything. And you're my pastor. You watched me grow up. You never even checked to see if we was okay, but you ran down to the jail to go see Reggie and was consistently going to see him until he got sent to prison. Does this make sense what I'm saying? Yeah. So then him going to see him, there ain't no telling what Reggie was telling him about my kids. So Brian, when he makes contact with Bishop Calloway comes over there. So he was like, well, if I was you, I would get those kids out of my house because you don't know what they might say about you. Brian had children's services pick the kids back up. And I was about to get my case closed the very next day on Melody's birthday, April 26th. The judge that was trying to prosecute me for that thing, and then she turned around and threw everything out. She said, I know what you're going through right now. I've read everything. And I know you wasn't trying to rob anybody. I'm going to drop this down. And they made sure.
So like you're saying that there is a link between the person who molested your daughter and the church, and
we all grew up. I grew up with the thing about Reggie. I knew him from the church. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like right after he got out from being prosecuted, another one of his family members got put in jail. His family, he has a long line of pedophiles and all that in his family, and I didn't know all of that. They said Reggie was doing stuff to kids when he was a little kid, touching people inappropriately.
So Antonio,
but I didn't know any of that, and I was with this man for 7 years.
What about Antonio's dad?
He was never he's not nowhere to be found right now. I could call that man right now. He ain't finna answer. I've been calling him since our son been missing. I've been calling his mom since our son been missing. They have never been there like that. That's just how they are. His father was negligent. I can't really speak on how his mom was because I found her to be a nice person, but she's always been in and out of the kid's life. They're non-factors.
Did they ever try to reach out to Antonio's father when the kids had got taken from you?
Yes, and he walked out. He said that he was not about to lose his job for taking classes and doing different things that was not going to help him get his kids back because they was not about to give him the kids either. He said that he was not about to jeopardize his job. When we went through the trial on day 1, he turned around and walked out of the courtroom. By 9 o'clock, he was already gone. The court hearing started at 8:30 in the morning. By 9 o'clock, oh, I have to go. I got to go to work. Then he comes calling me later on that day. I got fired from my job, Monique. Well, baby, if you was there for your kids, God would have had a safe covering for you, but you ain't never been there for your kids. He was not there for the trial either. He was too busy trying to find a job. He's never been there for the kids.
All right, so I want to move towards a conclusion. Yeah. Okay. In closing, the whole purpose of this is to help find Antonio.
Yes, man. Bring Antonio home.
So we can just kind of like bring this thing full circle. So everybody that's watching, man, we want you to share this video.
Please, I'm going to share it again.
Man, just continue to share. We going to get on top of calling the news, which he's already called the news. But if anybody is watching, happens to have any type of connections with the news, you know how to create a press release, you know how to do anything, whatever we might need to do in order to get the news to pick this story up, run it, and then get a broader audience's attention as to what's going on. Please do that. She is tagged in this post. Okay, Monique Davis. Is it Monique Davis Dawson?
Monique Davis Dawson. I only kept that name up there, even though that's that bitch ass nigga's name. I only kept that name up there.
We just trying to just let them know how to contact you if they have any information to help you contact your son. Right? So
3 hours.
We sharing the post. We contacting Monique. If you have information that can help her, how to properly solicit the news in order for them to pick up a story, whatever it might be. If you guys got any contacts with a police officer or some type of city official, or you know a particular angle,
nothing, DeAndrea, cut it the fuck out.
You know a particular angle that she should be taking in order to just raise awareness to this situation. Please do that. Please do that.
They act
Peanut,
like
I'm gonna put it on you, Monique, and then I'll give you one last plea. Antonio, if you're watching this, man, your mom just want to make sure that you're all right. Reach out to her, get with her, so we can kind of just, man, just know that you're okay, because that's the main thing that we all care about. It's on you, King.
Yeah, I definitely want to say that too, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really are pressing for you here, man. I mean, we literally had guests that were scheduled for the day. We rescheduled those just so we can make time for you, King. We really want you to come back home safe and, you know what I'm saying, at one capacity, man. And we definitely want justice to make sure, you know what I mean, that this is safeguarded for all children going, you know what I'm saying, like going forward. We want to establish that when it comes to the community of us all coming together for a common purpose, a common goal of bringing home, you know what I'm saying, Antonio. You can have all of the opinions in the world. You can have, you know what I'm saying, whatever issue you may have, put that to the side for the greater good of bringing home this young king, man. So, man, bro, we love you, man.
We're going to follow this story, man. We're going to bring him home, and we're going to post when we do it, bro.
Absolutely.
And we tracking everything that we do, you know? Everything we do, so we ain't backtracking. Monique, what you got for us?
The last thing I have to say is, they don't have any weight or probable cause to approach me or keep my son from me. It's all a choice. Every foster parent has a choice whether they want to be in contact with the parents or not. And that's just that on that. That's just how they are. If they choose not to, that's their right as being foster parents for privacy. It has nothing to do with me personally. And this message is to DeAndrea. So if there was weight, I would have a charge. I would have did time. There would have been some type of consequence. The consequence was very unfair and unlawful, and that's just that on that.
Mm-hmm. So, man.
That's real.
That's real.
All right, you guys, man. I think that Lachey Hill said something that was very important, which is something that, man, definitely can work, man. As everybody say a prayer for the homecoming of Antonio. He is in Logan County. He was missing since December the 8th, right? December the 6th?
Well, the 6th, but it's been reported as the 8th.
So missing since December 6th, reported as the 8th. Let's all pull our resources together. Anybody that we know that can help this situation, man, please get to Monique, or you can contact me and then I'll give it to her, or Peanut.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any one of us, man. You know, just give us that info and then we gonna approach it the right way. Man, I really appreciate everybody watching our show, man. Yeah. Like, subscribe, ring the bell notification. Everybody that's watching on Facebook, man, go to our YouTube page, man, and make sure that you watch on YouTube, because that's where all the rest of our videos are, man. Like, subscribe, ring the bell notification, man. We love everybody. We broadcast damn near every day, and we have some really cool stories on here and stories like this to bring awareness. And so let us know in the comments if there's somebody that you would like to see us interview, somebody else that has a very interesting story or some help. Yeah. You know, bringing attention to whatever cause that they have, man, let us know. It's our job and our pleasure to shine light on anything that's dark to the foster parents. We invite you to come here on our show so we can give you this same opportunity to find Antonio, because that's the main thing that Stack and Mac and Known to Keep It Cracking care about, man. So, yeah, man, peace and love, everybody. Like, subscribe, ring the bell notifications on YouTube. Comment down below any information you got. Inbox Moniqua, inbox Peanut, inbox me. And then we going to bring Antonio home, man, for sure.
Legendary People Podcast. Legendary People, Legendary